Welcome to Camp Victory.
Oh, Camp Victory. I thought this was Camp Liberty.
Oh, no, they changed that about a week ago. Victory sound better.
All right. So what do you got?
The car has been parked illegally. The suspension is sagging. There's definitely something heavy in the trunk.
Interesting.
What's he doing?
I'm gonna die. I wanna die comfortable.
How many bombs have you disarmed?
873.
873. You're a wild man, you know that?
Oh, that's so bad. Our first time working together. What do you think?
I think us working together means I talk to you and you talk to me.
You going on a date, Sanborn? My team leader is inspiring. He's gonna get me killed.
What's the best way to go about disarming one of these things?
The way you don't die, sir. That was good.
What do we have here?
This box is full of stuff that almost killed me. What about this one? Where's this one from, Will? It's my wedding ring. Like I said, stuff that almost killed me.
Put down the phone! Burn him, Aldrin! I can't get a shot!
I was scared. Yeah? Well, everyone's a coward about something.
We're going on a mission. And my job is to keep you safe so we can keep going on missions.
It's combat, buddy.
Go! Everybody get back! Go, go! You realize every time you suit up, it's life or death.
Found something.
You roll the dice. And you deal with it.
Oh, boy.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Barrel Age Flicks, our podcast. And today is a special day. We are the second week in January, and we are doing the movie The Hurt Locker. We have a special guest here, my brother, Josh, who's actually a Army vet, retired, I believe. How many years?
20 years.
20 years retired Army vet. So it's really cool to have him on this show because...
Yes, thank you for coming.
Yes.
Thank you.
And the nice thing about this is that this movie's based on EOD. It's EOD...
Explosive Ordnance Disposal.
Yes, and that's what he actually did in the Army, so he has a lot to say about the great accuracies in this movie. But, of course, him being a first time on the show, our tradition, Stu.
We always have to have Malort.
Yes, and this is his first time ever having Malort, so cheers, Josh.
Prost.
Hope you enjoy.
Have fun.
I've
Told
had
you he'd take it
worse.
like a champ.
You've had worse.
Yeah, I've had way worse. That's enough.
I'll say
Told you
being in the
that,
Army,
That's
yeah, I'm
like,
pretty sure he's drank gasoline before, so it's...
Yeah, I've had way worse.
But now let me ask you a question. Is it bad, though? I mean, do you consider that something that you would have again, or is that something...
I mean, it goes down pretty smooth.
Yeah.
You know, I'd do it again. It's not that bad at all.
Well, there you go. So good. So
I mean, it's got a little bit of bitterness to it, but I mean, I can't even. What does it remind me of?
well, what did our old friend Lenny said? It would taste like homeless man's piss or something like that.
Yeah, but he exaggerated.
Yeah,
The
of
closest
course.
thing I've been able to do it, I've been able to explain it is if you've ever done dusters, all right, the bittering agent that they put in the duster to try to discourage people from doing it, it's similar to that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
It's
definitely
artificial,
see
it's
that.
chemically.
It is, but it really, you know what? I was expecting the worst, and that was nothing. That yeah, I can't put my finger on it. There's a taste it reminds me of. It's not piss.
Well, it's wormwood. I know that.
Okay, yeah, but it's not bad.
Wow. Okay.
I was expecting the worst.
You being, you probably have been you've been around the world, so you've had probably some crazy shit.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
So what would you say is your worst drink you've ever had?
Worst drink?
Diesel fuel.
Oh man, I had a redneck Mexican once, and I swear that was a nasty drink. I think it was like tequila, Jack Daniels. Oh God, what else was it? 151 maybe. I don't know. It was
It was
pretty
just
bad.
a mixture.
It was a mix. It was disgusting. You know, and honestly, Bacardi was it? Is it 150? Bacardi 151?
Bacardi 150. Yeah.
Yeah.
That I have a rough time with that.
With rum?
Bacardi. was the lead line.
151
Yeah.
I do.
Okay.
Yes, just 151. Like other rums I do fine with, but Bacardi 151, that's pretty rough.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
That's the burp is bad. The burp is bad, but other than that, no, it's not that bad at all.
Oh, see, everybody has certain reaction to drinks. Like Stu, whenever it's anything spicy, he gives for some reason he gives him fucking
Hiccups.
like crazy.
Yeah.
Like
Triggers
he'll
it.
just constantly hiccuping
Really?
through the show. Oh yeah, he hates anything spicy. That's his weakness is spiciness.
Yeah,
But
it's the return trip that gets you on Malort.
yeah, yeah.
That's when it comes back up.
Well, what are some phrases from Malort?
All right, tastes like the day your dad left.
Yeah.
The answer to COVID was one that came out around that time.
Okay.
Your first time being dumped is this taste.
Okay. Now I remember it was a whole
Yeah, they had a
list.
whole bunch of stuff. They just
Yeah.
lean heavily into the negative advertising.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's a very Chicago mentality.
And it's been the staple in our show ever since Weird Science. I mean, that was the Science Said It, the movie that we reviewed, and it's the drink for the show. We love this shit, and we're used to it. I mean, we drink a lot of it. I mean, we've gone probably well over 10 bottles now, probably, or probably
well
even
over
more.
that.
Probably even
Well
more
over
than that. Yeah. So, but of course, we're going to be doing the Hurt Locker. We're going to go ahead and do the details first, and then we will get introduced to the drink that actually Josh brought to us.
Yep.
So the Hurt Locker came out June 26, 2009, limited release in the U.S. Director is Catherine Bigelow. Other movies that Catherine Bigelow has done, and she has done some good movies. The Loveless. She's done Near Dark, which is actually a good one with Bill Paxton and Lance Henriksen. Blue Steel. I've never seen that one. The classic Point Break.
Yes.
With Keanu Reeves. Yes. Strange Days. The Weight of Water. K-19, The Widowmaker.
Good one.
The Hurt Locker, and also Zero Dark 30 and Detroit. Now, Zero Dark 30 is a favorite of mine. I actually like that Point Break. I've never seen Detroit, though. I don't know. I know it's about the Detroit the
Really? The other way.
riots. Oh, fuck you. Yeah, I know. But other than that, Catherine Bigelow was the first woman to win the Academy Award for a woman, actually, for Best Director.
It wasn't for a woman. It was just,
Yeah.
It was director. Period.
No, for a first female director to win an Oscar.
Yes, but you said
that's what I meant.
yes.
I
For a
said it
woman.
wrong.
For a woman.
Yeah, I said
She
it
did
wrong.
all right.
The Hurt Locker was released in the U.S. on June 26, 2009, at a production budget of $15 million and earned $49.2 million at the global box office. The film was a 97% score on Rotten Tomatoes, but an 84% for user score. So other Oscars that it won: Best Original Screenplay, Best Film Editing, and Best Sound Editing, and Best Sound Mixing. Other movies that came out around this time. Now, actually, some good movies here. Oh, sorry, I missed it out. I need to do the actors. So the film's lead, we got Anthony Mackie as Sergeant J.T. Sanborn. We have Brian Gandy as Specialist Owen Elridge. We have Guy Pearce as Sergeant Matt Thompson, which I completely forgot that he was only in the movie for like 5 minutes. Ralph Fiennes, another one that had a short role. We had David Morse. We have Evangeline Lilly as Connie Jane.
His wife.
His wife,
Yeah.
who's actually, I think, the elf in the Hobbit movies. Christine, and also in Ant-Man, I believe. As Wasp. And then we have also Jeremy Renner as the lead, as Sergeant William James. And I thought Jeremy Renner was great in the role. I mean, for the movie, the last time I saw this was back when it first came out, and this was only the second time watching this movie. So I don't remember much of my review of it like when I first saw it, but seeing it now, it gives me a different. Like I said, I'm really curious about the inaccuracies because how much is it in the movie?
How many inaccuracies?
Yeah,
the whole movie.
The whole movie.
I don't know where to start. So, I mean, I
You didn't tell him to
graduated.
take that type of notes.
I graduated EOD school in it was December of 2008.
Yeah.
So I graduated before this movie came out. In fact, I didn't even find out about the movie till I was in the school.
Right.
And they were talking about, they're doing some EOD movie or whatever. And what they ended up doing was they did a private showing for all us EOD techs when I was stationed in Germany with
Right.
the 720th EOD. So you get a bunch of EOD guys together in a theater by themselves with that movie, and it got pretty wild. It was pretty stupid.
A lot of people yelling at the
actually.
screen.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was wild. You know, the inaccuracies. I mean, I don't even know where do you want to start.
Oh,
I mean,
we'll get into that after we do the
exactly.
drink. We'll get into that.
We'll do the drink, but I mean, it's there's quite a bit. I mean, it's entertaining, but we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
So the other movies that were released around the same time, The Hangover. Great classic movie right there. Land of the Lost, I think with Will Ferrell.
That was fun.
Imagine That. I don't know what that is. The Taking of Pelham 123. Moon. That's actually a decent movie.
Yeah.
Year One. Huge, horrible flop.
Yeah.
Jack Black. And
What? I love Year One. You guys are smoking crack.
The Proposal. Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen, and My Sister's Keeper. So those are the movies that came around that time. So that is the end of the details right there. So let's go ahead and get into the drink. So Josh, why don't you go ahead and show us the drink and why are we drinking this one?
This is Angel's Envy. We're drinking it because I like it. You know,
Hey, no, I got glasses here.
Oh, okay. My bad. I thought you were doing shots.
Yeah, I had this Colonel actually introduce me to this, and he was head of NSA over in Indo-PACOM area, and I used to do work on his boat all the time, because I'm an avid sailor and do a bunch of boat work, and he brought a bottle out, and I had some, and it's probably some of the smoothest, straight, Kentucky bourbon I've ever had.
That's
so.
awesome.
It don't matter. As long as I get some, I'm happy.
Oh, so I get the bullet? All right.
Yeah. I figured that would fit for you. So,
Okay.
all right. So, cheers.
Cheers.
Roast.
Keep your hopes up high and your heads down low.
It's got a lot more sweetness than I expected.
It actually has a little bit more bite than the Malort.
Yeah,
It does.
a little more warmth.
It's a little more
I don't think Malort's going for the bite. It's going more for the just how
The bitterness. That's all.
Yeah,
Malort goes
it's
for.
just the bitterness. The funny thing is in Chicago they make fucking popsicles with it. Yeah, which is interesting.
Well, the bitterness is it's actually I'll probably get another shot of it later because I rather enjoyed it. But
Very nice.
All right, we'll have a round shot of it.
yeah.
I can do that. All right, so all right, so the way that we do our reviews for the drink is a normal Roger Ebert 2 thumbs up, and basically that's how
Between
we do.
two down, 2 up.
Or you can do
any combination.
Yeah, you can do like a negative thumb, 2 negative thumb, 0, or thumb up, thumb down. So what you think of it and everything else. What the fuck are you laughing at?
That's the way you're fucking describing
I
it.
always describe this
Sounds
like crap.
fucking retarded.
I can't help it. I say shit wrong. All
You
right.
can do negative, or you can do thumb up, thumb down. You can say.
Hey, I'm being descriptive. I'm trying to help here. All right, here we go. So I can tell one thing. I did not expect the sweetness. And I think I've had this before because I think I've had this. When did we have this? Probably at
I feel like we've had it at
Ragnar's house.
Was it Ragnar's house or was it at one of my my times at my house? Because I'm pretty sure I know for a fact I've had bottles.
You
of
think
this at my
Tokens
house.
brought this over?
Possibly.
You know what?
I've had bottles of this at my house.
Yeah. Probably at your place. It could have been either way, but I've had it before. But
That's nice. Very nice.
very subtle. So it's a little bit of warmth, but the sweetness is what I was shocked at. I wasn't expecting the sweetness. It's very good. I give it 2 thumbs up. It's good. I mean, it's something like it's a nice looking bottle too. It's a beautiful looking bottle. The Angel's Envy with the little wings in the backdrop. It's got a nice taste to it. Something to just sit down, put a movie on, watch The Hurt Locker, and drink this and curse at the TV. Sure. Man, seriously, I'm so curious to hear all this shit about this. movie.
I used to think it was smooth, but I'm telling you, this Malort's is way smoother. After having
Change
that,
your
and
world
then,
here.
and then drinking Angel's Envy, I'm like, man, it's got some bite to it. It's like, let me go back to the Malort. I always liked it because I always thought it was a very smooth bourbon. You can drink neat, you can drink.
Oh,
on
it
the
is
rocks.
absolutely.
I'm a little girl, so I like it on the rocks. But to each their own.
I prefer this neat. I don't really want this because actually the room temperature mellows it out. I think it's fine that way. I can maybe with some whiskey rocks, with no ice to water it down. I don't want this watered down, but
So I think even on the rocks, it would mellow the flavor too much for my appreciation level.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I treat it like a drink, I put it on the rocks. I'd probably spend, about 10 minutes drinking it, and then pour me another one, and then I could probably drink the whole bottle. But,
Right.
it's This is how I like it. I like it cold.
Well, I gave it 2 thumbs up, so
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up. It's my favorite bourbon. What do you think?
I personally think it's like a 1.5 to me. The sweetness is nice. It's fine. I prefer a little bit more developed of a flavor profile in mine, where some sweetness is fine, but I want to taste the different layers to it. And this is just a very nice, very sweet, very vanilla-y, almost caramel.
vanilla. Yes, I do taste a lot of the vanilla, and I think that's where the sweetness comes from. Yeah,
perfectly fine, perfectly nice. And like I said, it's a very minimal bite. I don't think there's anything offensive about this at all.
No.
So a lot of people could really, really enjoy this.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, the
sipping
sweetness is really what's really getting to me, and the vanilla tasting. I can definitely taste the vanilla in there, but a lot of bourbons, some are very sweet. Just like the ryes, those aren't as sweet. But there's a lot of bourbons that we've had. Some are very sweet, and some are very just like just for the warmth and just for the taste of the bourbon.
I wonder what the percentage of corn mash versus wheat mash is.
So if somebody want to look that up on their phone, I have no idea. I don't think it's going to be on the information on there. Usually you would have to go on the website and get it. But overall, it's a good drink, and I appreciate you bringing that drink for the table. It is a good one. So, anyways, that is the end of it. And sorry, Adam couldn't join us for our review because he's over in Ohio right now.
What's the matter? You couldn't buy a bottle?
Pennsylvania.
Oh, I thought you were in Ohio.
No, Pennsylvania.
Totally
I'll be in Ohio in 2 weeks, but I'm in Pennsylvania.
Oh, you're in Ohio during the Secret Santa. Gotcha. Oh,
Yes.
yeah. By the way, this is January. That's I know. I'm probably cut that out. Fuck it. But anyways, we'll go ahead and get to our break. Enjoy this commercial from Coffee Bros, and we will see you guys in a few minutes. Hey, having a hard time trying to stay up, trying to record these podcasts late at night?
Or are you up late, working, driving trucks, working in the shop, trying to provide for that damn family of yours?
You need coffee.
Well, let us tell you about this one company we got right here. It's called Coffee Bros. Now, they got a very select blend of different roasts, light roast, medium, dark, espresso. Now, each one of these has its own flavor profile.
These two brothers from New York made this amazing company with an amazing coffee that you could order online.
So you just had the espresso roast.
Yes.
And did that thing wake you up?
I couldn't go back to sleep. Oh, man. It was smooth.
Nice.
It had that nice chocolate taste to it. You can just taste the chocolate.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't give you that bite like other coffees do.
Or bitter.
No, definitely not bitter at all. This is smooth, sweet, aromatic. This coffee here will absolutely wake you up when you need it to.
The coffee here is dedicated to freshness, quality, and consistency. Use the code BAF10 to get 10% off your entire order. The link for the website is in our show description. And I'm telling you guys, it's worth it. This coffee keeps you awake, especially for the late podcasting that we do.
Yeah, it's very much needed.
Try out Coffee Bros. Coffee Bros! Welcome back to BAF. Thank you for listening to our commercial right there. We are back with my guest brother, Josh, for the show. And also, I think we should do another shot of Malort. Okay. I mean, he said he liked it more, so let's do a shot of Malort. Go ahead and pour the little small ones right there.
Probably going to need something to wash down that Angel's Envy,
There you go. A little shot.
You want it there? You want it smaller?
Are you fucking with us when you're saying that you're actually more of a fan of the Malort?
I enjoy it. It's actually really good. I like that bitterness at the end. It reminds me of something, and I'm trying to
Your
put
soul?
my finger on it. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I said Anna doesn't bother Anna at all either. She likes it.
Yeah, she doesn't.
Look, it's the shit that burns the fuck out of your throat and makes your stomach turn. That's the stuff I try to avoid. This is it's a taste thing.
Yeah,
that's all it is. It's not bad at all. It's
all right. So we're gonna take a
Go ahead and pass that
little
to
group
you,
shot,
brother, please. Thank you.
All right, guys. Cheers. Thank you for being a guest on our show. I appreciate you being here.
There's just something about that is really good.
Change your world. That's crazy. Would have
I think
never
he's the
thought
first
that.
one that ever said really good.
I don't know what it is.
I think so.
First one to say really good after immediate shots. All right. Like it is normally something that starts growing on people, like they start developing an appreciation for it.
The thing is, we're so used to it that it doesn't bother me, and I actually don't mind it now. So, but the thing is, other people hate it. Like the BAC chicks fucking hate it. They can't stand that shit. But everybody else in the show, Chase hates it. Chase doesn't care for it. Adam, are you a fan of it?
It doesn't bother me. I'm not a fan, no. But
Yeah.
it doesn't. I mean, if I have to drink it because I'm being punished,
Yeah.
I will. But,
Yeah.
but no, I'm not a big fan of it.
All right. So awesome. We took that shot.
I think, maybe a glass, some ice, you're good to go. Just a sipping drink.
Oh, you're talking about Malort on the Rocks?
Yeah. Malort on the
Actually,
rocks.
I don't think we've ever
We
had it.
have tried it.
Have we had it?
Yep.
Well, didn't we also do the thing where we like fizzed it up or
Yes.
something like that? Where
Yeah, we tried it multiple different ways.
yeah. We've never made it. We made a couple cocktails with it too, I believe. Well, I always get a cocktail mixed
It's
up
hard to find a cocktail for this just because how strong of a flavor it is.
Yeah,
It will dominate just about anything else you
Look,
put it with.
if they could do it during Prohibition with, the diesel that they were using for
Oh no, this
alcohol
made it
back
through
then.
Prohibition.
Yeah, exactly.
This is older than
It
Prohibition.
makes sense,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So, that's what cocktails came from was Prohibition because the alcohol tasted so bad.
Yeah. So today, again, we're talking about the Hurt Locker. This is actually something that Josh has said, I think, for almost a year. We've been talking about him being a guest on the show for an episode, and I told him that he can pick a movie, and he said he wanted to do the Hurt Locker, which, like I said, this is something that he had an experience with being an EOD tech. So the inaccuracies in this movie, apparently, abundant of it. So I'm actually curious to hear about that. Before we get into that, I mean, when was the first time you watched this? You watched this?
Like I said, so I watched it 2009.
Okay.
And then, like I said, we had a private showing
Yeah.
for all our EOD guys and, shenanigans. It was fun. This was back in Germany. So that's when I was stationed in Mannheim.
Okay.
So 2009. And like I said, we had heard about it on the grapevine while I was going through EOD school that this movie was coming out. We're like, oh, look at this. I mean, I can say this about that movie, at the time that it came out, it was a great pickup line. So that I can't say, but
I can see that.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah. So, but other than that, I mean, it's definitely not one of those movies that I'll sit there and be like, oh, I got to go watch The Hurt Locker. In fact, when I watched it the other day, for the show, I mean, I probably hadn't seen it in 10 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's been a hot minute since I've seen it.
Yeah.
So I think I showed my wife the movie.
Was that her first time
we
seeing
started
it?
dating it? Yes.
Okay.
So I thought I'd show it to her and see
Yeah.
if it would drop her panties, and it worked. So then I had a kid. But yeah, so yeah, but I mean, obviously a lot of inaccuracies, and we'll start going through all of that stuff.
Now, before we get into the inaccuracies, do you feel that they were just because they were wrong, or because the technical advisor says we can't show this, or they
Well, they would
booted it up for Hollywood?
So they would do things for Hollywood. I understand
Okay.
the things that they couldn't show, and there were a lot of things that you just can't show.
Right.
But there are a lot of things they did just for, that dramatic effect.
Right,
That just
right.
you would never do. Like, and then there was a scene at the very end, and we'll get into it, that was absolutely stupid, and the guy gets killed, and there was just no reason to do it that way. It's just the dumbest thing, And they're trying
You're talking about the,
they're trying to get this emotional effect. That was suicide vest.
Yeah,
They call
yeah.
it P-bid. Yeah.
The one where it was all chained on him, basically?
Yeah, so there are ways to handle that situation, and it was ridiculous. But yeah, there's a bunch of technical aspects, especially we'll just be in the beginning.
Yeah.
We'll talk about something. I won't be giving away any TTPs or anything weird like that, but I believe in the beginning of the movie, and it was the actor, what was his name?
Jeremy Renner? Or
No,
Anthony
no, no.
Mackie?
Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie.
Oh, the director.
Guy
Ritchie?
No.
Guy Ritchie. He was the team
The
leader.
first EOD tech.
The first
The one who
EOD.
died.
So he's a team leader,
The
right?
Renner replaced.
I didn't know his name was Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, it was Guy Ritchie.
Was that the actor?
Guy Ritchie is a director.
Yeah, no, you're right. No, Guy Pearce. Guy Pearce.
Pearce.
Oh,
Pierce,
okay.
Guy Pearce.
I was trying to
Yeah.
figure out what the
I-
fuck.
Yeah. No.
That
not
didn't make
the-
any sense to me.
I'm not the movophile, all right?
Yeah.
So it was Guy something. Anyways,
I'm sorry.
so Guy Pearce.
yeah.
All right.
Pierce.
Guy Pearce.
The only two famous guys in the
so-
entire fucking world.
Yeah,
That is true.
Right.
And I didn't expect him to be only in the movie for fucking 5 minutes. I thought he was actually a full character. Even it shows him in the trailer. And I was like,
big-
oh, he's already dead?
Big
What the
fan
fuck?
of Count of Monte Cristo. I
Yeah.
thought that he did great
He
in
was
that
great
movie.
in that, yeah.
Now, I will say,
Lawless.
it's been a handful of years since I've seen this film, and I see Pierce on the screen. I'm like, I don't remember him being fucking in there. And then he fucking dies. I'm like, that's why I don't fucking remember him being in here. All right.
When was the
Well,
first time
I think they were trying to give the movie, you know,
Stardom.
they put some star power in there.
Yeah. Well, Ralph Fiennes.
You know, Ralph Fiennes.
What was that, Sergeant?
I don't think Mackie and Renner were name names.
They weren't big names
at that time.
No. Next thing you know, they're big Marvel superstars. But you know, Anthony Mackie, what was he?
Phoenix and fucking Hawkeye.
Yeah, Anthony Mackie, what was it, 8 Mile? I think the first time I ever saw him in a movie.
And he was also in the movie Notorious. He played Tupac, actually, in that too.
Yeah.
He actually played Tupac.
Now, was Jeremy Renner, was he in a SWAT movie?
I believe
I feel like
he was right. Yes, he was in SWAT.
He was in a SWAT movie. He was in SWAT. That's what it was.
That is a SWAT movie.
I do remember him in that. But yeah, no. So, you know, they weren't
Nobody was really big
name
except for
actors
these
except for
little
those two. You had Voldemort and you had the Count of Monte Cristo.
Yeah.
So
also, you had another one. You had that the starting of the Wild Man story. He's in a lot of movies. He was in the Green Mile. You know?
Yes, he was. He was the security guard in Green Mile. So. Thank you. I was trying to figure out what he was from.
Well, he's in a lot of movies, actually, but that's what I always remember him
from.
But
that scene right there with him, Wild Man, when he was doing that, I was expecting all of a sudden him to be like, you know, giving Renner's character shit. And, you know, it's like, oh, you're a Wild Man, huh?
Hey,
go ahead.
Well, you see, the secret to that is if you're given the right answer, there's not a whole lot that you can do.
I actually have a clip of that right here. We got 2 clips, and one of them is actually something that Josh brought up to my attention, and actually we'll probably play that right afterwards because it's pretty fucking funny. But this is the Wild Man sequence.
You the guy in the bomb suit?
No, sir. Sir, that's Sergeant James. He's right here. Hey, James.
Yep.
Someone's here to see you.
Oh, shit. You the guy in the flaming car, Sergeant James?
Good afternoon, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, that's just hot shit. You're a wild man, you know that?
Yes,
He's
sir.
a wild man. You know that? Why don't I shake your hand?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. How many bombs have you disarmed?
I'm not quite sure, sir.
Sergeant.
Yes.
I asked you a question.
See, I thought he was going to get in trouble at one point. That's what I
873.
thought.
That's what my entire feeling with that.
And 73. 800 is 73.
Ripped.
That's just hot shit. 800 is 73.
Well, how is he going to rip his ass? He doesn't know anything
Counting
about the
today,
job.
sir, yes.
That's got to be a record. What's the best way to go about disarming one of these things?
The way you don't die, sir.
That's a good one. That's spoken like a wild man. That's good.
All right, so before we get into the talk, we got to listen to the parody of this. Josh, we were just looking. He was looking at the phone, and he showed me this little college humor video.
I don't think it's college humor. It's something else.
Yeah, but
I don't want to give credit to the wrong people.
Yeah, I'm going to find out, and we'll give credit to at the bottom of the screen. But seriously, this is pretty fucking funny. It's a little bit longer, but it's pretty fucking funny.
It's loaded.
You're the guy in the bomb suit?
Yes, sir. Afternoon, sir.
Well, that's just some hot shit. You're a wild man, you know that?
Yes, sir.
He's the wild man. You know that? Huh? I want to shake your hand.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. How many bombs have you disarmed?
Sir, I don't know how many.
Sergeant,
Yes, sir.
I asked you a question.
873. sir.
873. 873. That's just hot shit. 873.
Counting today, sir, yes.
That's got to be a record. What's the best way to go about disarming one of these things?
The way you don't die, sir.
The way you don't die. The way you don't die. That's a good one. That's good. That's spoken like a wild man. Like a wild man covered in some hot shit.
Thank you, sir.
I want to shake your hand.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. How many times have you jerked off in your bomb suit?
Sir, I don't know if I...
Sergeant,
Yes, sir.
I asked you a question.
1,079, sir.
1,079! 1,079! That is some sick, hot, wild man shit. 1,079.
Counting today, sir, yes.
Well, that's more times than you've had to disarm a bomb.
Almost 200 more, sir.
So sometimes you just put on the suit to have a tug.
Yes, sir.
You're a sick, hot, wild man covered in shit. You know that?
Thank you, sir.
I want to shake your hand.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What's the best way to go about jerking off in one of these things?
The way you reach climax, sir.
The way you reach climax. The way you reach climax. That's good. That's spoken like a sick, hot, wild man covered in some sick, hot, wild man shit.
Yes, sir.
I want to shake your hand.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. How many times have you jerked off during this conversation?
Sir, I haven't been...
Sergeant.
4 times, sir.
Yeah, Josh brought that up to my attention, and I saw that. And there was another funny video also of the guy checking the car out, and it said, "Oh, I gotta die."
It was a parody of if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die comfortably. So
Yeah, and he just kept taking his clothes off to the point where he was
he
butt
got
ass
in his
naked.
birthday suit. Yes, it was funny.
Funny
he
shit.
was comfortable.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was comfortable.
Funny shit. Before we get into
That
the
reminds me
movie,
of some like vet TV shit or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Love that TV.
Yes,
by the way.
yes.
quick question just for Stu and Adam. Me and yours, I saw back in the probably about a couple months after it came out on Blu-ray or something like that. When did you first time see this?
I feel like 08. I feel 08.
So you saw it around the same
Yeah.
time. Adam, was this your first time or?
No. I saw it probably soon after it came out on. At that time, it was probably DVD, just regular DVD.
Okay.
I didn't see it in the theaters, but once it hit some kind of media, I watched it.
Okay, cool. So, all right. So I guess we'll go ahead and talk about this movie. So the big question. So what are the huge inaccuracies of this movie? Like what really pissed you off when you watched this movie? So
All right, so I'll go. We'll start at the beginning. We'll talk about. All right, so you have Guy Pierce. Thank you. Guy Pierce. He's a team leader. He's got two EOD team members, and they're getting ready to do reconnaissance on an IED. And so they decide they're going to bip it. Basically, they're going to blow it in place.
Yeah,
that's what bip means. And so they have a robot attached to a wagon, and they're dragging the explosive charge all the way down to the IED.
Yeah.
Now, a couple things. Why the fuck is there explosive charge in a wagon? All right. This robot has this thing, it's called grippers. All right. If we're taking a charge down somewhere, we're going to carry the charge.
Yeah.
All right. All the way down to the actual ID. 2, the wheel on the wagon broke. Now.
And the Army provided
Hold
apparently.
on.
Yeah.
First off, we ain't using a fucking wagon. 2, this wheel broke. All right. And so they're able to remotely disconnect the robot, Remo Tech. I can't remember what it was that they used. They were able to disconnect this robot from the wagon remotely.
Yeah.
And so then brain processor like, well, I got to get on the bomb suit and I got to walk all the way down there and pick it up and whatever, And just turn the robot around and pick up the explosive. I mean, 1, why are you using a wagon? 2, if you're able to remotely disconnect it, just turn around. That's what that big gripper thing is for.
Right.
Okay.
So is that more just for to make it Hollywood glamour, basically to make it look more dramatic?
They were coming up with a reason
to not use
why
the
he had
robot.
to put on the suit. You know what the easiest reason? This happened a lot when I was over there. We would lose contact with the robot. All right.
Yeah.
You have radio signals going all over the place, bouncing off the walls. You have all the. I'm not going to go into like the ranges are, but just the robot. We lost connection.
Yeah.
Shoot, I need to go down in a bomb suit. That happens all the time.
Right.
But instead, we're gonna pull this wagon that we would never use in a million years and drag it. And so that's the other thing too. So what happens if the wagon worked? How does that work? Does it just drive up and then just drop the wagon off and then drive away? I mean, like I was thinking that at first, and then is this a disposable wagon?
Which would explain the shitty fucking wheel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a disposable. So again, none of that made sense. I know why they did it for Hollywood purposes. They're going into the amount of explosive. This is a 20-pound. This isn't a 20-pound charge. It was a 5-pound charge.
Yeah.
Block of C4 is like 1.25 pounds, and you're looking at 4 blocks. It's 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Which is kind of overkill for a 155. Anyways, but this is 20 pounds, and the way they actually had the charge set up was completely inaccurate. I'm not going to go into how it's supposed to be set up, and I get it, it's Hollywood, but it was all done, for show. I mean, if you've ever seen any movie that uses any type of bomb vest or explosive device, they're going to show it in the goofiest way possible.
Yeah.
To make it look scary. In fact, I have a good story about that. In fact, when I was in Korea. I got called to a police station because they found a suicide vest.
Yeah.
And I came and I looked at it, and I did my whole recon on it. And I'm looking at this, and I'm like, what in the fuck is this thing? This is not a suicide vest. It looks like a suicide vest.
Right.
And it had this weird kind of rubbery leotard yellow suit with it.
Yeah.
Okay. It had like a little computer fan, and it used speaker wire, and it had all these tubes. And we figured out what it was. It was a movie prop that somebody had thrown into a dumpster, and then the police found it. That's exactly what that's exactly this. It was like a knockoff of the movie Speed.
Okay.
It was a Korean version of it. Gosh, I'll see if I'll send you the pictures. I have pictures of it, so I'll send you the pictures. I could show you, maybe pop it up there. But
awesome,
yeah.
I can do that.
So so I got called on this suicide vest, and that's exactly what it was. I'm trying to figure, is this a chemical weapon? Because it's got a fan on it. Is it a blower? Like, what is this? And then it's like, oh no, it's a fucking movie prop.
Yeah.
So, and they're gonna do that with movies, and I get that. But now you're doing a movie that's actually about like EOD, Explosive Ordnance Disposal. We'll go into that. So my wife, she actually turned to me and she's like, "Why would he turn around when the bomb's going off or the explosive's going off?" I was like, "Well, honey, those bomb suits are designed to take the front,
Which I have a question
in the front.
When Guy Pearce, when it explodes and you just see blood like splatter in his helmet, is that from the shockwave hitting inside? Like, how does that happen?
So that they were trying to show the effects of, because you could see the shockwave in this, like it's called blast over pressure.
Okay.
All right, so when you're that close to an explosive, that suit really is pretty much designed to keep your body together. You're going to be dead and liquefied on the inside, but it'll keep your body together.
Yeah.
It will protect you for some blast over pressure, but it really is designed to protect you from like fragmentation, especially the front.
Gotcha.
The front of the suit.
Okay.
That's why a lot of times when we're walking down on something, we're going to back up. We're not going to like turn around and say, because you're going to have less protection. So if it goes off and you're backing up, you're more likely to survive than if you're walking away. In fact, somebody can double check me on this, but I'm pretty sure that anybody who actually wore the bomb suit the entire time during the OEF never died. Was never killed. Yeah. A lot of times our guys are killed because they're not in the bomb suit, or they're, in body armor, or they're dismounted or doing something like that.
Okay.
So, and secondaries, obviously, that was a big problem we had. But yeah, so that was like the first thing, the first 10 minutes of this movie. You got a bunch of EOD guys watching it, and it was a riot. People are yelling and screaming, and this is the dumbest fucking thing.
Basically yelling at the screens. Like,
why
this is
are they
fucking
doing
bullshit.
this? Yes, it was so ridiculous. And then every scene was just a big joke. So it was a big comedy to us. It was supposed to be a serious movie, and it was a fucking comedy the entire time. So
do you like this movie?
I'll watch it every 10 years at this point. So, it's cool to show your kids. Be like, hey, this is what I used to do. Yeah, I'm a wild man.
You were hot shit.
Oh, hot shit. We talked about earlier, actually, there are some movies you asked me, what movies do I think are more realistic?
Accurate.
Yeah.
I believe unless you want to go ahead and say, I know Black Hawk Down was one of them.
I said Black Hawk Down was.
Yeah.
Because prior to being EOD, I was actually a Night Stalker. So I was a member of the 160th SOAR, the Special Operations Aviation Regiment. And that unit was part of Operation Gothic Serpent, which was the big battle in Mogadishu.
Yeah.
In Somalia. And so I'd said before, I'd met Mike Durant, and so because he came to the compound all the time to visit and stuff like that. But a lot of the big difference between the Hurt Locker and say Black Hawk Down was Black Hawk Down had a lot of support from the military, especially from the 160th.
Did Black Hawk Down not get as much support?
Hurt Locker, you mean?
No, but did Black Hawk Down?
No, I'm saying Black Hawk Down, the movie, had way more support.
Okay, I'm sorry, I
misunderstood
yes. what you said. I thought
way more support from the military, because you actually had elements of 75th Regiment, Ranger Regiment, Delta, and the 160th actually providing expertise in that movie.
Yeah, they're going to provide more support for a film that is it's a gut wrenching story of a real account, but it's also a heroic account.
Yeah,
and it shows them in a great light.
Yeah, they're going to provide all the great support. Now, Hurt Locker was not necessarily painting that rosy picture. It was trying to paint that more fucked up,
gritty
gritty
They're trying to
picture
show
that they were trying to tell at that time.
They're trying to show a gritty story. They're trying to show like the mental state.
Yes.
And like I said, I think before, I think this was based off of an interview in Playboy magazine from another EOD tech, and I can't remember his name. I heard he was an asshole, but I'm not going to go into that. But, one of the things they did get wrong, too, in that movie was how we talk to each other. So within the EOD community, let's say I'm a team leader, right?
Yeah.
My team members, we're going to talk to each other, and we're going to be on a first-name basis.
Right.
About everything.
Okay.
First name. I ain't going to be like, hey, specialist. Like, they would do things like that within the movie, like Mackie, right?
Mm-hmm.
He did a terrible job being an EOD sergeant. Absolutely horrible. I would have kicked his ass off the team in a fucking.
Was it wrong for him to punch Jeremy Renner in the face after the whole thing about you do not turn your radio off? I'm just curious. I mean, there you go. See, is that could that put you in
policy?
For starters, you wouldn't have a team leader that stupid. But then again, you also wouldn't have a team member talking to his team leader that way.
Right.
Okay. So this is how it works. Okay. Within an EOD team, you're on a first name basis, and that hates, or like the regular army, they fucking hate that. Right. But there's a reason for it. This isn't, NCO tells you what to do, you do it. This is, hey, if I'm down there, downrange, and I'm working on something and I got the blinders on.
Yeah.
Okay. My team members, they do not need to be afraid to call me out on my shit.
Right.
If I'm fucking up, they need to be like, hey, Josh, what the fuck are you doing? Why this is stupid, all right?
Yeah.
So that's why you maintain that relationship within the community. And that's something we had to explain a lot of times, if I'm walking down the street as an E7 and one of my freaking specialist team members says, hey, Josh, what's going on, man? And a sergeant major sees that, he's going to flip the fuck out. And then I got to calm down, sergeant major, just relax. This is just how it is.
Yeah.
It's cool, and we ran into a lot of that in my career. But, the team members have to be able to talk to their team leaders. We're not going to sit there and call each other by our ranks. We just didn't do that.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's just something kind of showed within the movie, like specialists go do that. That's not how we talk to each other. At the same time, we're not going to shut the fucking radio off. I mean, we're going to communicate. Everything that he did within that movie, especially when it comes to how he would approach different things. He would do stupid things. There is a way you can resolve those issues, especially with a vehicle, a V-bid. Literally, I could take care of a V-bid in 15 minutes. And I'm not going to go crawl in there and searching through everything, or walk up to it with a freaking crowbar and be like, I'm just going to pop it open after it was on fire.
Yeah.
Everything we do is remote. Stay remote, stay alive.
Right.
That was what we did. All right. There are ways we can get into that trunk without actually even walking down there.
Okay.
I can get down there with a robot, drop something off.
Yeah.
And then boom, trunk's open, everything's blasted out. Okay, cool. That's all disabled. Now I know what I need to do.
Now,
my question in this case would be, so this was set, I believe, in 04. And
during the Iraq, when we took over, when we attacked or went over to Iraq, yeah.
I believe 04 was the occupation stage.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do know in 02, 03, 04, equipment was damn near non-existent. A lot of supplies weren't as prevalent and available as later on in the operations. And then also some of the procedures were handled differently because it was a new environment that you were in. That lessons are learned and changed and evolved over time. Now, with it being a half a decade prior to your first, hand experience at that time, is there a chance that some of these?
We're talking about 3 years from when that movie was made.
It was from when it was made but when it was set.
Well, it was set in 2004, and I graduated in 08, so we're talking about a 4-year difference.
And when you graduated in 08, were you on ground at the EOD in 08 or in 09?
Here is not in 08, but so here's the thing you have to understand, especially with the EOD community. So prior to 9/11, all right. Prior to 9/11, a lot of the local and state police forces did not have bomb squads. They just didn't.
Yeah.
All right. Very, very few and far between. So a lot of times when an explosive situation would come up, any type of like IED or anything like that, they would actually request help from the military.
Right.
Because the military is actually way better trained in IEDs than even local federal police. Way better. The stuff that was even utilized over there, that's like some of the things, the techniques that we would use on a VBID, for example, which is a perfect example. That is like basic training procedure that has been known for the last, I don't know, 30, 40 years.
Okay, that's why I was asking.
That's why. So like when I say, you're not going to walk down on a vehicle and pop it open with a crowbar. Like, I mean, we're talking about if you went down, we're not talking about super special tools or anything crazy like that we came up later. I mean, we have the most basic, like a rope and line.
So wait a minute,
There are
that
ways
scene,
we can do it. Go
that
ahead.
scene in where Jeremy Renner's doing the car and going throughout the whole inspection of the car and everything else, that was all bullshit. I mean,
Oh God, yeah, that was
Okay.
the dumbest thing.
to go
Look,
basically analyze every single part of that vehicle.
You know, one of the biggest things we do, especially within the only time I ever get out of like a bomb suit or body armor or any of that crap,
Right.
All right, is if I was dealing with like
Unless you're a wild man.
a hostage situation.
Yeah.
All right, if it was like a suicide vest hostage situation,
Right.
stateside, not overseas. I don't give a shit what happens overseas, right? Stateside, that's the only time. If it was like a class one, it like super serious, this shit needs to get taken care of, and I can't do it remotely, then I'm gonna do some Hollywood shit.
Yeah.
That is the only time that's gonna happen. And even then, that's extremely dangerous and extremely stupid.
Yeah.
But 99.9% of the time, everything we're gonna do is as safely as possible, as remote as possible.
What's the longest you've been in that suit?
Probably an hour and a half, I would think.
Yeah, and that because
That had to fucking suck.
you formed that. Well, no, that's the thing, and there'll be a video posting at the bottom of the screen right here of Josh actually in the suit that we have. But that thing looked like claustrophobic as fuck. I don't know, because you're basically trapped in that thing and all the fucking heat. I mean, because you're out in the fucking desert, basically.
Yeah,
with
so
that
they
thing.
have, it's interesting. So they actually have like this water suit you can wear underneath it, but nobody wears it. Nobody uses it.
Why?
It uses ice and a bunch of other shit because it's more time. You're talking about time on target. You know, just get the suit on real quick.
Okay.
All right, but the suit itself has fans that blow in your face. So a lot of the heat dissipates through your head, right? So the fans blowing, and it just runs off of like batteries.
Yeah.
That's all it is. So you have a bunch of batteries here. That's that big portion that's on the back.
Yeah.
On the suit, and that's got a fan there. It's got like 2 fans. You got the battery pack. You have a little controller on your arm so you can change. So you have communications and you have your fan controls there. So
So you have like almost like a personal air
Yes.
conditioning system, basically. But,
yes, but it's just air. It's just
not cool,
100
it's just-
degrees out. It's just blowing air in your face.
So I'm sure you have like little vents so you can vent all the heat and while the air is blowing.
Not the
around.
rest of your body.
Oh.
I mean, you're gonna lose a lot of water. I mean, I've had to do.
I'm sure you've lost weight wearing that thing.
Oh yeah, I've had to do stuff where I'm in a bomb suit. If I'm doing like a chemical environment, I think like Fort Detrick, we do training with the FBI, and I'd be out there in a bomb suit, and I've got to clear out this, HME lab or this chemical lab, and I'm in a bomb suit for an hour or more at a time, and it's freaking 95 degrees out. And
Jesus, oh god,
you just deal with it, you know.
You make me look bad because I'm gonna say this. Then I'm a fucking pussy because I have a Darth Vader suit and I wore it in 75-degree weather on Halloween during the day, and I was in that thing for like 30 minutes and I was about dying. And I was trying to tear the suit off. It was so bad. And you were in that thing in the fucking desert for an hour and a half.
What you have to understand is that it's true. It's a different mentality. So you're wearing a Darth Vader suit because you wanted to, because it was a Halloween thing. When you're doing it because it's your job and you survive.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
Once it becomes a survival,
I give a lot more credit
you
for that.
can do way more than you think your body is possible.
Right.
You can. If I know I got to wear the suit for an hour and a half, I'm going to wear it for an hour and a half. But that's why I have team members there to, one, get the helmet off me as soon as possible so I can cool off and then give me water or whatever I need. If I say, all right, I need this tool, take the helmet off, give me some water, put it back on, get back downrange, do what I need to do.
Do you also have like a little tube that goes in your mouth where you can suck on water or something like that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
I thought they would have something like that.
If I'm getting in a mop suit, yes. Like in a chem mop suit, you have a setup like that. But for the bomb suit, no.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's what your team members, I mean, they're your lifeblood, man. They're the ones that they get your tools ready. So it's really cool. So when our guys go through school and stuff like that, they're trained as team leaders throughout the school. They're trained to run as team leaders.
Yeah.
Once they get out of the schoolhouse, they're your team members. Yeah, they were trained to do stuff as a team leader, but now they have to go through an entire process. It takes years to actually train them up to become a team leader. but their main job is to support that team leader to be able to think, what is he thinking? What is he doing to know what's going on the ground at all times, you know, and to support you.
What kind of stuff goes through your mind when you're wearing that suit and you're right in front of like a thing that can basically kill you? I mean, do you have any fear? I mean, I'm sure you have fear, but I mean,
yeah, you know, that doesn't happen until after the fact.
So after the fact, okay.
Yeah, afterwards, you know, that's when you have that come down. But like when you're actually in like the zone, you're not thinking about stuff like that.
You're thinking about basically,
you're thinking about
taking
getting out
care
of this
the
bomb
business.
suit because I'm freaking sweating my ass off, so I need to get this done.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, none of that stuff happened not till afterwards. You know, you talk to any soldiers who've been in combat, they're not thinking about that when it's happening. It's afterwards. And that's where you need that support structure after the fact, especially when somebody comes back from deployment. Go ahead.
So support team. What percentage of the support team will eventually go on to wearing the suit? Or is that just different skill sets that they're being trained in?
No, so you're talking about the way an EOD company works, especially with an Army. So the team member's main job, like especially within his career field, to support his team leader and to eventually get to that point of wearing the bomb suit.
Okay.
That's what they're training for. That's what the team leader.
That's the step.
That's what the team leader is training them for. As they're supporting me in the job that I'm doing, I'm turning around and I am training them to be future team leaders.
Gotcha.
So they have this massive list, 4 pages long worth of stuff that they have to check off on. We're talking about chemical. We're talking about biological. We're talking about IEDs of every single type. There's so many things that they need to be trained up on, checked up on. Pass basically, and then once all of that happens, you know, then that their packet, basically their team leader packet, gets submitted, and then it gets approved, and it goes up to battalion, and then comes back and
get chosen for a slot. And
now the portrayal of because Anthony Mackie was a team leader, I assume.
No,
who was the team leader?
He was a team member. So he was a team member. So the team leader was Jeremy Rayner. So the way it works is, and he was an E7, which is weird because he would actually be in charge of multiple teams. He was when I got out, I was an E7, so he's a platoon sergeant. So I was in charge of multiple teams. Team leader is generally an E6, so a staff sergeant.
Okay,
that is the team leader. When the war got really bad, and we were losing a lot of guys, and they started really like pushing us, because originally our deployments were only like 6 months, and there was a reason for that.
Right.
You imagine taking care of IEDs all the time, you're going to burn out, and they pushed out. I think the furthest it was like 18 months.
Yeah.
And so guys are dying, right? And so, excuse me. So you had E5s that you're a team leader right now, and they'd run as a team leader, and then they'd come back stateside after doing all these IDs, and then they'd have to I was a team leader, now I'm back to being a team member, but now we're training him up real quick to make him a team leader because he did all that shit.
Yeah.
That's when it got really bad.
Okay.
But generally speaking, E6s were the team leaders, you know. In fact, within the community, you weren't even allowed to get promoted to an E6 until you were a team leader, until you were certified as a team leader. When the Army got a little stupid for a while and they just started promoting E5s to E6s, regardless or not they had actually completed their team leader certs within the EOD community, because they looked at it as a whole that they were hurting really bad. It's like, we need more team leaders and we need more EOD guys. You have an E5 straight out of the schoolhouse, and boom, hey, we're promoting you E6, but you're not a team leader. You're now an E6 team member. And that created it was a nightmare.
Is EOD only located in the Army?
No. So EOD.
So Air Force has an EOD?
EOD is, so you Air Force, Navy, Marine Corps, and Army. Now, they all go to the same school down at Eglin Air Force Base in Florida. All right, so you have all 4 branches, and they all go to school together. It doesn't matter if you're an officer and you're enlisted. You're in the same class together for the entire year. Yep.
Oh.
So our officers are trained as EOD team leaders, not because they're going to run as EOD team leaders, but because they need to know the job. They need to know what the EOD team leader is actually doing, so they can, work with, communicate with, the higher ups.
Yeah.
That's like their main job, to support us. That's what the officers do. Their job is to support us, so they can talk to the on-scene commander, say, hey, my team leader, he's out there, he's doing this, this, and that. He's going to be working with, especially if it's a really big incident. Now, normal incidents, no, you're not even going to have an officer there. Like half the time, we didn't have lieutenants when I was going in. We never had lieutenants. It was just, we had a captain and we had a first sergeant, and it was just a bunch of platoons with teams, and that was it. We didn't even have lieutenants. It wasn't until later in my career that we started getting a bunch of lieutenants in out of nowhere. It's like, where are these guys coming from? You know, because it was like a rarity. Because I guess we were hurting so bad for officers.
Yeah.
But I do support the idea that your officers are being pushed through that schooling. I support the fuck out
Well,
of
what
that
happens
idea.
too is like, so if I get a lieutenant in, so I was in charge of platoon, then it's my job to train that lieutenant to be a team leader. So I got to train him and I got to teach him and then sign him off. Of course, you know, for them, it was more like, you know, paint by numbers. They just had to get the basics and then, okay, cool. All right, I'm going to sign you off on this. I'm going to sign you off on this. All right, cool. Now you're going to go to, you know, captain school or whatever the hell they do.
Yeah.
They'll go to the next level. And then eventually, you know, hopefully they'd actually take over an EOD company. But with an EOD company, the first sergeant, he's the one that runs the company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way it in most military things.
You'd be surprised, man. Like aviation world. So I was in aviation, you know, aviation was very different, you know. The warrant officers ran everything. So the pilots, in the 160th especially, you know, the pilots did everything. But you know, it's really interesting. So going back to the movie, we talked about that first scene.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to bring up too, obviously not getting too much into the weeds, you know, the fact that you'd have these EOD teams go out there on their Humvees all by themselves without any type of security element.
You talking about the one where they go out in the desert where they meet
Just
Ralph
like
Fiennes'
every
character?
single freaking time they went out by themselves. It's like, hey, we call it EOD up. All right, they're just going to go willy-nilly out there. No, that's not how it worked.
Oh, with the whole sniper situation and everything?
Look, we're trained on the Barrett. That is true. I think maybe they were doing that scene to show that we know how to use a Barrett, but we're trained on a Barrett.
Yeah.
All right. I'll send you some photos. I've actually shot.
Was that because you're more to assist in like remote?
So yeah, we call it's called SMUD operations.
Okay.
And so what we would do is we would actually never ever use it that way. You could shoot at an IED with a Barrett, I think was the idea behind it. I did some cool shots I did on grenades because we were trying to determine, all right, well, how do we get this grenade to high order? So we're shooting at these grenades, and they're not high ordering. We got a couple of grenades to low order, which is kind of cool because it was basically an unfused grenade, and you had this giant flame just flying out the top. And the only way we could do that is with what's called a Ralphus round. So it's actually like a 50 caliber round that has incendiary on it. That's the only way we could get it to low order. And then to get it to high order to actually blow up, you'd have to shoot that grenade while it's fused with the Ralphus round, and then you could get it to blow up.
Okay.
That was the only way to do it. Now, I've got this amazing picture. I'm going to send
Spicy boner!
where... Okay. Ron, give me another shot.
No.
No. You got to spin the wheel.
Okay, spin the wheel. All right.
First time spinning the wheel. Here.
All right, so you
Here,
gotta
take the wheel right here. And just take your finger and just swipe it. Yeah, I got to hold it down because it's
I gotta
fucking
go
wheel's
with that.
eyeball.
Everybody drinks. Atomic bomb.
No, that is.
Is it the penis?
Crystal picks. You're going to have to do another one because we aren't able to get a hold of her right now. So
What is that?
she likes to come up
Cock
with...
shot.
Cock shot.
Oh, I still got the cock shot.
You guys keep talking for a minute. I'm going to get Sammy. She's going to make you a cock shot.
Well, what's the other one?
So Crystal is a member of BAC.
Okay.
And she's unable to be gotten in touch with right now, but normally she is easily able to get in touch with, or she's here. So we would have her just randomly pick a shot for somebody.
Oh, okay.
So depending on how mad she is at you or how much she likes you will determine.
Gotcha.
the
Because
drink
whenever
you're getting.
she's there, she is extremely creative at
Yes.
concocting punishment shots.
Yes.
Okay, as long as you don't mix like alcohol with ramen or something, I'm fine. Because
That
That's a
I-
possibility.
you know what?
possibility with her.
I'll
Just
tell you-
don't tell her. Just don't. She's coming down. Sammy's going to make it.
I'll be honest with you. I do not do chunky. I can't do chunky. Like I will
It's
drink.
kind of hard to drink chunky out of
You're
this.
not
can't-
getting
I can't
chunky
do
out of this.
chunky.
Yeah.
You're not getting chunky out of it. Now, once it hits your stomach, it might turn chunky. But
So
Sammy's coming down, so she'll make you the drink. So go ahead.
Ron.
Thank
okay,
you.
so I was. What was I saying? I don't know what I was talking about. What were we talking about?
Sammy's going to make your drink right here.
let's see how
So
much.
you were going to send him a picture.
I believe it's
of-
over at the.
Oh
at the bar.
yeah. So that was a picture. So basically, I'm shooting at this grenade with this Barrett, and I told the guy, I was like, we had painted it orange. I said, all right, I want you to turn the grenade so that the fuse well is facing me, and I'm shooting from like, you'll see, it's from pretty decent distance, at least like maybe 100 meters or so.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I'm kind of barricaded, and I shot that bullet straight through that fuse well perfectly, and it popped right out of that back, like beautifully. It was the most beautiful shot you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And but I'll send that to you. But yeah, so anyways, going back to that, so we call it smut operation. So yeah, we are trained to shoot the Barrett.
Yeah.
We are definitely trained to do that. Am I going to have a guy next to me doing windage and all this other shit? No. No, it's just it's like, oh, we have these contractors. So they were British contractors, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They weren't SAS or anything. They're just British contractors that were, hunting these guys for money. And they're like, oh God, this guy died. We can't shoot. And then EOD comes in and saves the day. It's just it's a Hollywoodism, It's what it was. It just made us look more badass.
Now, the scene where
no, honestly, I had no idea that EOD had Barrett training, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense
absolutely.
for remote operations, remote detonations, or whatever you guys call it.
The scene when they're
or whatever.
They're inside the barracks and they're punching each other inside in the stomach and everything else for toughness and everything. I assume that's a very common thing with soldiers, like just like fucking with each other and seeing who's the tougher soldier and stuff like that.
I mean, yeah. So like, I guess what they're trying to show there is there's a lot of stupidity over there, and we do a lot of stupid things.
Yeah.
A
lot of drinking.
They were drinking. Yeah, I've got photos of me drinking.
What do you mean? What do you mean? No, there's no drinking over there. There's no drinking over there. Never.
I'm retired,
Never.
man. I got 2 tattoos, and I was drinking. I got pictures of it. I got proof. I think we gave our commander a tattoo when we were over there.
All right, thank you, Sammy. Here is your cock shots, just in the ball sack right here. But
that's the Barrett. That was actually the grenade I was shooting at.
All right, so here's your shot. So right in the ball sack. I don't know what's in it. So usually you drink it first, and then she tells you what it's in. So
clear.
Yeah. And Sammy, I'll put the mic on right there for you, so you can.
Now I will say
you're not gonna be on camera.
It is a very slow draining.
Now, Sammy, I want you to remember that last night I was on your side. We were playing the board game. I was on your side. All right. All right. This is This is some bullshit right here.
It is. It's a very slow draining. You're gonna have that cock in your mouth longer than you feel it should. There you go.
You're taking a lot longer than you got to keep going. There you go. There you go.
Well, I had to suck it right.
Yeah. I had to finish it.
It's minty.
Schnapps, I'm guessing, by the color.
So it's Everclear, and then the Rumplemint.
Rumplemint.
Oh, your Rumplemint that you brought.
And then vanilla vodka.
Oh,
okay.
So I was thinking like a mint candy cane kind of holiday kind of thing.
Well, this is after the holidays, but yeah.
Yeah, sure, it is. Right. It's after the holidays.
Yeah. After the
Okay.
holidays.
All right. You're welcome.
Thank you, Sammy.
Thank you, Sammy.
Going to the movie, yeah, some of the stuff that they would do in the movie, like my wife was like, we were having this conversation. She's like, yeah, they wouldn't be like drawing at each other, punching each other. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
The shit that we did. Are you kidding me? Yes. Oh my gosh.
So you get into wrestling matches and stuff like that.
Man, I remember this one time, as a joke, I was gonna park a gator in front of a porta potty, but the thing had terrible brakes. And the guy that was I hit that freaking porta potty so hard that guy went flying. So yeah.
Oh, that's great.
That's wild,
I can't tell you how many times I had to get a banana bag in the shadow of the fucking tank, after fucking drinking heavily fucking night before. All right.
Oh yeah.
Let's go to fucking duty. Let's do our fucking duty. All right.
Yeah, as long as you could do your job, man. You drink all night, and then it didn't fucking matter.
All right, now that scene over here with the Ralph Fiennes and when they, checked to make sure that he was not the enemy and stuff like that, he said, I'm on your side. Would that have really happened, something like that, where they would really point the gun out and basically like go hardcore on trying to figure out if it's actually...
Oh, yeah. I mean, you don't know who the hell you're dealing with out there.
Yeah.
So it's not like... And then the other guys, they were quiet too, which
right.
in itself was kind of weird. But
so what they were doing... So Ralph Fiennes, that whole group, they were not doing their job the right way.
But again, they're not going to be out there by themselves. There's, like I said, and another big thing too I want to talk about was...
So Ralph Fiennes' characters and his group also aren't going to be raising all the attention in the world to themselves, to this approaching group. And then this group right here is going to be fucking nervous as shit about this.
They're contractors.
They are.
They're fucking contractors.
And it was still a
We had
It was a
contractors
gr-
like killing people
Yes.
and getting
Yeah.
like. I mean, there's some bad stuff going on over
It was
there.
still kind of grayish area at that time. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff did happen. Stuff that you aren't really supposed to acknowledge. Stuff happened.
Yeah,
You're like,
a lot of stuff happened. But no, so I mean, in that scene, yeah, I mean, they waved them down, but again, you're not going to be out there by yourself. They're not going to be out there by themselves.
Yeah.
You know, anytime any incident they went on, all right, guess what? If I'm out there and I'm doing an incident, guess what? I'm going to have a perimeter pushed out with the security element, with the guys that I'm showing up, on scene commander. Okay, is the security element pushed out? You know, they would just go willy-nilly as their guys are hiding behind the corner. That's not how we did things, you know? But that's how they showed it in the movie. It's like, oh, they're going to hide over here. There's something down there. Man, you better set up a fucking perimeter and protect my ass. Like that one vehicle that drives down and he pulls the gun on the guy. I'm like, there's a perimeter, so they would have lit that guy up.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's Hollywood. So, I mean, yeah. Like I said, not getting too much into it, but there were so many different scenes within that movie that were very upsetting. So I'll go back into, let me see one of the scenes I was thinking of. Again, not getting too much into TTPs and stuff like that.
What's a TTP?
So that's tactics, techniques, and procedures.
Okay.
Okay.
I understand that. All right.
Yeah. So one of the things too is like I remember anytime you go into say like any type of like lab or something like that, whether it's like an IED factory, you're not going to go in there with your guys. You're going to clear it yourself as a team leader. That's your job.
Right.
You're going to clear it before you bring anybody else in. So like that one scene they had the kid with the
the kid that was all sewed up because it looked like he had like fucking bombs basically like sewed into his body.
Body bomb?
Have they done that?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
They've taken dead bodies and just used them basically to hold. I didn't know that.
Those
See,
are the
I'm glad I
fucking pregnant women or women that are supposed to be pregnant. I mean, they'll do.
They'll send it with living kids. They'll send it with.
Oh, they were doing bicycles.
Jesus
But, I
Christ.
mean, they were doing everything you could think of. You know, it was pretty wild.
just
but,
to cause
you know,
damage to the military, to the army.
Yeah,
and
so
everything.
I'll talk about the last scene of the movie because there's so much more I could talk about that movie. But we'll say the last scene of the movie where you had the guy with the suicide vest and he was. I would not be wasting my time trying to break locks. All right, that's the dumbest thing possible.
Yeah.
Okay, because one, I don't know if that damn thing is booby trapped to just open it and you're gonna set off something. This is just a loop wire that you should hook up to that. It's
Yeah,
just
basically where you pull it apart. And
yeah, exactly. You could easily set something up there. So, you know, if I was going in there personally, if it was me, like this is how I'm looking at it, it was, well, he's got the freaking watch there and he's got some wires there. I've only got so much time. If I'm gonna roll the dice, I'm just gonna remote cut one of the wires. That's it. I'm gonna remote cut it. All right. That gives him a better chance if the dude's gonna survive.
Yeah.
I'll take a rope with a freaking, you know, the seatbelt cutter things, just put it on like one of the wires and pop.
Yeah.
You know, from a distance.
So
That's
basically,
better
they were
than sitting there trying to.
So basically, they're
open
just
it
trying to
up
go
with
for a heroic side.
Exactly.
in
I
drama.
can't do anything. I'm going to break these locks.
But this is based off a
you're
real
trying to-
character,
You're
right?
trying to kill yourself breaking these locks. You don't know how that thing is or how it's set up. I mean, if you have a watch there and you think that that's the timing device and you have such a short amount of time, so it's the whole thought process. So yes, it was very much a Hollywood
Over dramatized.
movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Now the person that you said was probably an asshole who this is based off of. Do you know if he like told stories where it was basically where they made the scenes in this movie?
A journalist was embedded with a EOD team, and he did a Playboy interview with the guy, and then later he wrote the story, The Hurt Locker. Now there was actually a lawsuit that the technician he was with sued them.
Yep, that's correct.
Because he felt that the guy wrote the story about him, and the guy said, no, this was just a story I wrote based on the experiences the journalist had while he was with him.
Interesting.
And the EOD tech, it ended up being that he lost the lawsuit because they couldn't prove that he was writing about him.
Right.
And it actually went through several. It didn't get settled until 2016.
Wow.
So it went that long until it was finally settled.
So I heard that guy was an asshole.
He felt that what was happening is the way that that Renner was portraying the EOD tech in the movie was making him look bad.
Oh, absolutely.
Because he felt it was based off of the experiences that the journalists had with him.
But here's the thing, though. So it's like, oh, you're making me look bad, right? But I'm suing you because you are describing me.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, either way,
Well, and I
just
guess
shake
that was
it.
the thing
I mean,
is that he was saying that the way that the story was being portrayed him poorly.
Yeah.
And he didn't want, in other words, he was saying that this stuff that they're showing that
but it
they
was
say
about him.
didn't happen.
So it was about him, but they were portraying it poorly. But the journalist was trying to say that it wasn't about him.
Okay, so it could be a situation that, let's say somebody spent a lot of time with Donald Trump, and it's known this person spent a lot of time with Donald Trump. Then this guy comes and he writes a book about a president named Tronald Dump, and has him choosing to do a lot of retarded shit.
Yeah.
All right. It opens up the lawsuit saying, all right, it makes you're making it seem like this is me, and you're making me look like a fucking asshole. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I think that's where the lawsuit was coming from. Not necessarily that.
But it's kind of hard to do that when you're not using names. All right.
Right.
So you're not using his name in the movie. So you have no idea where this source of information is coming from. But now this guy is like, this movie is about me.
Yeah.
So I'm suing because it's about me because it makes me look bad, but nobody knows who you are. You know, do you understand what I'm saying? It's
Well,
like,
they didn't know who he was because of the interview that he did prior.
But nobody else who saw the movie knew who he was because they didn't use his name. Do you know what I'm saying? They didn't say like if I went and saw The Hurt Locker, unless I did like a Google like search or whatever, would find out, well, what is this actually based on? Who actually did this? Well, it was based on a journalist who did it on EOD Tech. But they didn't, you know, it's like some people, they go to see movies and they're just entertained.
Okay.
Now, if I'm going to put myself out there and be like, hey, this movie's about me, but this isn't what I did.
But also the other side of the coin in that case would be your name is now going to be associated with this film, even peripherally. So if somebody does, let's say Ron is that person. Ron is applying for a job. I do a Google search on Ron. Now Ron's name is linked to the Hurt Locker and to this character based on this journalist. So it does make me think he might not be the
I
right
guarantee
guy.
you, though, he is linked because of the lawsuit, not
Now
because
he
of the
is,
movie.
but at the time, because he said it was mentioned in the previous interview, some names were mentioned.
You have to remember, though, I mean,
So-
we're talking about the internet. We're talking about the Wild West of the internet. There wasn't much information out there back then, especially on people. Nowadays, sure. But if you're going to have this big old lawsuit, yeah, your name is now going to be attached to Hurt
No,
Locker.
I think in 08,
Everybody,
in 08, you could definitely find a lot of information about people.
not...
A lot of information in 08.
Yeah.
It's a lot more worse now than it was back then.
Yes,
I think it's worse now.
It's gotten easier
I think,
now. But,
I think we forget how much information we did not like. It's sometimes when we look at like information from the past and we think that we try to compare it to what we can find now.
Yeah.
But back then, I mean, it was actually a lot harder to find information on stuff. It really was compared to what it is now. You know, and sometimes I think we look through it through that lens, that modern lens, like, oh, back then, now, like 2008, it really wasn't as prolific as it is now.
Yeah.
No.
You know.
But it was still with effort, and then also just knowing how time progresses, especially as it goes to become a major motion picture, as it goes to become a major Oscar-winning contender.
I can't fucking see why.
Okay, well, let's go into that. Like,
they said this.
How many people do you talk to now? Say, hey man, you ever seen The Hurt Locker? Like, what the fuck is that?
No, but
Nobody's seen the movie.
They even say on the fucking
The
thing,
younger people, yeah, I would say, but a lot of the
a lot of
people
people
my
have never
age
seen
have
that
definitely
movie.
seen The Hurt Locker. A lot of people have.
But that's the thing. The fucking on the poster says for the reviews, a near perfect film, like near perfect. They're saying this movie is like a masterpiece, perfect. It really isn't. I don't see. Maybe for a dramatized Hollywood way, but for accuracies and stuff like that. Like
For accuracies, it's definitely not. But for what it's going for, which is it's not going to be an accurate portrayal of a real historic event. It is going for to tell an emotional, gritty, Hollywoodized stuff, and it
is. And
had
you know
good
what?
shots.
Yeah.
It had good acting. It had
the handheld camera.
It had a lot of feeling to it, a lot of real feel grittiness to
See,
it.
this is why I go back to the movie Black Hawk Down, because the one thing I loved about that movie, and they actually said it in the movie multiple times, it was about the guy next to you, which is true, 100%. It was about the guy next to you. It was about that brotherhood. It was about that fight and that survival. The Hurt Locker, you felt like it was Hollywood trying to look at a situation of what was going on there and trying to describe how people feel or what they like. War is a drug. All this. War ain't a fucking drug. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like how people feel, and the only reason why people were volunteering to redeploy, it wasn't because war was a drug. It was because your brothers were deploying, or your brothers were dying. That was the reason. Or you felt the guilt because, like, I had my team that I was on when I was in Germany. My buddy, he was killed, Eric Trueblood, and then my team leader, he's like a triple amputee. You know, they got fucked up.
Yeah, it's viral.
So that's why our guys wanted to deploy again, because they wanted to support their brothers. It wasn't because they were addicted to the war. Like that's the one thing I feel like they got wrong.
Okay, but no, addicted to the war, I agree with.
There
are people that I know that I've served with, and that they could not readjust.
Yeah.
Once they came back, they just could not.
To the point where they wanted to go back.
And I get
that's
that.
the only place that made sense to them.
But I think for a lot of guys, though, it was that feeling of, especially when you had friends killed over there, it was that feeling that, well, what the fuck am I doing over here? Like that scene they did in the movie where he's looking at the cereal and shit like that. I wasn't looking at that scene like, oh man, I need that high of being at war.
No.
I saw that as, I am here and my brothers are dying over there. I need to volunteer and deploy again.
Yeah, it's more
That's
of
how
what is this bullshit right here?
And they did not show that in the movie. It was all about him.
Yeah.
And what he wanted.
No, I think it, you know, because he was even talking to his wife, that she was ignoring his talk, or not even acknowledging his talk, because she didn't want to.
Oh, that's just
entertain
a shitty
it.
wife.
She didn't want to entertain it.
I didn't understand this because
I think it was her not wanting to acknowledge it, because knowing there's no right answer there. He's saying they're in desperate need of help. There's people that are fucking dying over there. They need trained techs.
Sometimes, look, as a divorcee, all right? Because one of the funny things that we have about EOD was either everyone's dead or everyone's divorced. That's what EOD stood for. A lot of EOD techs are divorced. So as a divorcee, and I know this for a fact, that if you're with a person or a woman and they're not willing to listen, all right, and like what she did, where she like, I don't want to hear anything about it.
She didn't want anything to do with it.
Want nothing to do with it. All right, if you don't have that support from her, because people are different nowadays. Because back in the day, you'd go to the VA, or not the VA, you'd go to like the VFW and drink some beers and talk to the guys or whatever. Guys don't do that anymore, not in this modern day, right? So they have their wives, all right? So if you have a wife that doesn't support you, isn't even willing to listen to you, you know, and you're going to be like, well, fuck this, I'm going to go back over there.
Yeah.
You know, I could see that, definitely. Okay.
Yeah. But I took it as more of her not necessarily knowing what to say, because there are plenty of people, both men, women, that can't wrap their heads around such a foreign concept of doing what has to be done in the time of war.
Sure.
All right. And it's just such an alien concept to them, and goes against the morals and goes against their, you know, what's right and what's wrong, and not understanding that how quickly the grays come into play. And then not knowing what to say, not knowing at all. How to respond to that.
Sometimes it's better. You don't have to say anything.
You just
Sometimes
listen.
you just got to fucking listen. Be
I
like,
agree.
maybe that's
I
horrible.
agree.
But
I
I'm
agree.
listening. That's it. Not being like, I'm just going to ignore everything you fucking said and just talk about something else. And women do that. Some women do that.
They
so
do.
a lot of guys, especially a lot of people that deploy over there, you know, they divorce because they didn't have support from their wives.
No.
You
But
know?
then, again, she also didn't want the idea of...
You can't blame the women, too, because, you know...
She didn't want the idea of him going back and potentially leaving her and his child, you know.
Well, it doesn't explain, because I know he goes back over there, but does he leave his wife?
No, he didn't leave his wife. I tried to explain to my wife, too, was that one of the reasons that I felt like, you know, him going back to, or basically her ignoring him, is because she knew that when he was discussing this stuff, that's what he wanted. Like he was getting, and so she was kind of in denial of that.
Yes.
Didn't even want to approach that subject. So she tried to change it while he's talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that.
And if she
was
tried
a
to
thing
talk him
too.
out of it, then she wanted to be an understanding wife, and you know, piss him off or upset him. And if she supported it, that'd be going against what her feelings would be, which would be, she wants him there. She wants him, to be a father to their child.
But like I said, a lot of it, I think, a lot of the reasons why our guys wanted to redeploy was because of the guys next to you. That's why.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Not because
100%.
I'm addicted to war and I got to get out there. And that's what that movie tried to portray, and that part pissed me off.
All right, so what you're saying is the whole addiction to the war thing, that is stupid, but the whole point, you think with the whole reason why a soldier wants to return back because he wants to be there with his brothers, to keep him out of harm's way, to be there for their brothers.
Some of it is some of it's guilt.
Yeah.
A lot of it's guilt, and
not understanding why
did you survive and they didn't?
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Guilt is a huge one.
Yeah.
And that's just, like I said, that's my personal opinion.
And then also some of it is
feel free to comment.
Potentially punishing yourself for actions that had to be done while you're over there, but saying, why do I deserve to have a nice cushy life, over here with what I did? And when I could be over there and somebody else who hasn't had to do what I did can have the opportunity to stay back.
But do soldiers also sometimes they blame themselves because of a mistake they've made and stuff like that, where it got somebody killed, but it wasn't
absolutely.
That's what I'm saying, and to the point where it gets a guilt where I need to go over there.
You're a fucking psychopath if you don't fucking
overanalyze
every last fucking situation that happened.
I completely understand. So that's why I was curious about that. We're gonna go ahead and take a quick break, and then we will be right back. This is turning out to be a great episode, guys. We will be right back, guys.
Hey there, it's the Barrel Age Chicks. I'm Sammy.
I'm Snow.
I'm Crystal, often called Mouse. And I'm here too.
Yay! And then we also have Yen and Harley, who sadly are not with us, but that's okay. We're here to talk to you about our podcast. Woo! Tune in because it's a lot of fun. And you get to hear the chick side of things.
You're going to BS about movies and drinking and life and momming.
Lots
and
of laughing. Lots of laughing.
I laugh.
But it's great. Yes.
We have finished our first season.
And we're starting our second season.
Woo! Good Lord.
2024. Here we come.
I know. Enjoy it. Join us on all of the platforms.
Hear them talk and me listen.
You talk.
You can find us on Instagram and Facebook.
Pretty much anywhere you can hear voices on a phone.
And yeah. So give us a follow. Check us out.
Watch us give Ron aneurysms.
It's the best part.
And thanks for listening. We will talk to you soon.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Mal.
And together we host the podcast Spoil My Movie.
We were watching movies anyway.
And we were having in-depth conversations about those movies too.
So we decided to share our thoughts with the world.
You can expect me to gripe about inaccurate details like supposedly cold weather, but you can't see anyone's breath.
And you can expect me to be totally adorable, but also psychologically deep.
And by the end of each episode, we'll provide our respective ratings.
Using a rating scale custom tailored to the movie in question.
Check us out wherever you get your podcasts.
We're everywhere. We're actually behind you right now.
All right, we're back with our episode for the Hurt Locker, and my guest brother Josh for the show. So let's get back into it.
So Josh, you told us a bunch of stuff that they got wrong.
Sure.
Is there anything that got right?
I will say, from my experience, them dealing with the locals, felt very right to me.
Yeah, I mean,
the ones where they're just holding a cell phone and not talking.
When I was, because one of the things that they did show, which was true, was you're talking about your ROE, your rules of engagement.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you would think that, hey, holy shit, that guy's got a camera. I'm gonna shoot that motherfucker, right? No, you have rules of engagement. You don't want to go to prison.
Yeah,
and it's like it's no different than like the Vietnam War, or any of the previous wars prior to World War II.
Yeah.
Where if it's not an actual total war, you have to follow these stupid rules. Now, these rules, they hamper you, they get you fucked up, they get you killed. But you have to follow these rules because that shit's going to come back on you and they're going to fucking come after. Look at that movie, what was it, Lone Survivor, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, with Mark Wahlberg.
Cool story, Lone Survivor. I actually landed in Afghanistan the day that happened.
Ooh.
And my unit was involved in I was in the 160th at the time. My commander was killed.
Yeah.
When that happened, and like I said, I was there, and it was a big fucking deal. It was really bad. I was kind of pissed off at that movie because they did not use the 160th in that movie.
Is there a reason why?
I don't know why they didn't. I mean,
Okay.
they're showing the SEALs doing their thing, but they were using their naval assets, the helicopters and stuff like that. But it was actually the 160 that was involved. And if you watch that movie at the very end when they're doing the end credit scene, they're showing all the people that died.
Yeah.
And they showed a bunch of Night Stalkers, crew chiefs, staff sergeants, warrant officers, pilots, and Air Force PJs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they should have had 160th aircraft in there. That Chinook that went down actually when that RPG, I think it was a PG-7, when it hit the Chinook and it hit the aft transmission and go like to the pilot or whatever. I don't know what the hell they did in the movie, but it actually hit the aft transmission and the helicopter. It actually dropped like this, hit the ground, and it rolled down the hill.
Yeah.
Killed everybody. But they didn't really show that in the movie. But where was I going with that? That's what I'm drinking right now. It's fucking me up. So Lone Survivor, yeah. So as I was saying about Lone Survivor, I was kind of pissed that they didn't actually use, the 160th in that movie, because a lot of our guys died.
Yeah.
When I got over there, but you got to help me out, man. Where was I at? Where was I going with that?
No, we were talking about the accuracies of what was real, what was actually something that's true.
One of the things, yeah. So the true thing about that, yes, how we had these rules of engagement, very true. And then, yes, I was going back to Lone Survivor. Thank you. I was going off on a fucking tangent. So in Lone Survivor, you remember how the SEALs were on there? It was like, oh, I don't want to get fucking war crime for killing these fucking shepherds or whatever, you know? Because that's what it was. You guys had all this bullshit that you had these rules you had to follow, or they were going to nail your ass.
Okay, but that scene where that car pulls up to Jeremy Renner's character and
again would never
just
happen
sitting in the
because
car.
a security perimeter would have been set up and they would have lit him up.
So what was
Yes.
so that was completely fictional and that happening at all?
Yeah, him pulling out a gun. Like, I'm not going to fucking have a gun on me in a fucking bomb suit. What the fuck is that shit?
Okay.
No. You would have had perimeter security out there that would have protected the scene, would have secured the scene, and they would have lit the dude up that tried to drive that car into that area. That never would have happened. But a lot of stuff they did in there was, again, it was just like...
They were trying to give movie tension, basically like tension, like what's going to happen? What's this guy going to fucking do?
That's what it was.
Right. Yeah.
That's what it was. So, yeah. So as far as like things that are accurate in that movie... some of the mentality was drinking over there. Yeah, that was pretty accurate.
Yeah.
You have to wait. You need a way to blow off. When he came back on base and he was like, "Oh, I was at a whorehouse." There's a fucking whorehouse in Iraq. This is Iraq. What the hell are you talking about whorehouse? Like, can you tell me where it is? I'm like,
I was going to ask
a
about
whorehouse in Iraq. This is Iraq.
That's why he asked. He was like, I wasn't aware there was one.
Yeah.
The difference in Korea, though,
They'd
I'm
all
sure
be
there's whorehouses in Korea.
Stoned to death, yes, but they'd all be you're talking about culturally speaking. There's no whorehouse.
Yeah.
Right.
And you want to be leaving base in a fucking hoodie, chasing people, just shit like that. It was Hollywood.
Yeah, Hollywood, yeah.
That was all Hollywood. That was stupid,
Any other things that are really true to, like...
And his ass would have gotten fucking nailed coming back on the base.
Like that with the hoodie and the...
Just fucking out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah,
Like,
you don't even realize it when I was over there. You can't just leave base. You can't just walk out of base.
Isn't that dangerous anyways, to leave base like that?
Yeah, I mean, but it's, unless you're like a fucking, like an asset or something out there, or...
You're doing fucking...
You're mainly...
Yeah, you're doing... Thank you. You're doing operator shit, but
when
if
you're out of base.
Fucking army dude, you're not going to be leaving base like, I'm going to fucking hunt this guy down. Where's this kid at?
No.
When you're out of base.
Which he did, they showed him sneaking out, even though they would have had an inspect on the, exit. But him just walking back in, showing his fucking badge.
Dude, those kids were a dime a dozen. I mean, come on. Oh, crap.
He couldn't even fucking recognize what it was.
Yeah.
Oh,
Why
the
don't
kid
you go
sells fucking hot.
If you thought that dude was the DVDs, man, I got some good DVDs. I remember I was in Al Assad, man. I got some good DVDs out there. I'll tell you, and video games. Holy shit. I got some video games and some DVDs.
That's awesome.
But yeah, cheap too. It was really awesome.
Oh, right,
something was up, man, when I was over there and they opened up a KFC and a Pizza Hut. I was like, oh shit, here we go, America. Woo!
Oh man! So other than that, the betrayal of the group, the team, because you said that whenever you leave base, you always leave in a team. You never leave by yourself. That would never happen.
No, you're gonna leave. You're gonna have a security element. You have to have support. All right.
Okay.
Your guys. again, you're a limited asset. You're a very expensive limited
Yes.
asset.
Yeah.
You have to have support. You just wouldn't go willy nilly off base.
All right,
Just
so there's
drive.
much less EOD trained.
Yeah.
Yes.
Soldiers.
Yeah.
Then
You
there
know, and
are.
I remember they just said,
fucking
"Hey, leave
grunts.
this fucking
All right?
VBIT to the engineers." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Leave it to the engineers? Ain't gonna do that." I wouldn't trust an engineer. Hell no.
Yeah.
It would. So realistically, EOD and the amount of money that was invested. That's what it is. It's investment.
Yeah.
You're
It is.
I'm assuming at that level, that length of school, you're looking at a couple $100,000
And yes,
minimum.
$1 million. And
Okay, there you
here's-
go.
And here's the thing, too. Realistically, you know, every time, I swear to God, every time Jeremy Renner was like, "Oh, the area's clear," area ain't fucking clear. You still have explosives there. What are you doing? You know, you gotta remove the explosives. You gotta separate. You're like, "Oh, look, it's clear. The fucking bomb's still in here. I don't know what's underneath there because I haven't fucking checked. I haven't remote pulled anything. It's just fucking sitting there."
Yeah.
You know, it's just like every fucking scene in that movie was just made me fucking angry. I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing? It's not clear. Leave it to the engineers." There's no fucking way we'd leave it to the engineers. Fuck those guys.
Well, here's a good question for you. What's your favorite scene in the movie then?
The credits. I love the credits, man. I'll tell you what. It's a badass scene right there.
Like I said, this is a comedy to you, technically. I mean, this is basically,
It is.
yeah.
It is. It's not. You know what the most realistic EOD movie I've ever seen before? It was the first Godzilla movie that came out in 2000. What was it?
The one with Aaron, what's his name?
Yeah, he was in Kick-Ass.
Aaron Eckhart?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Is that Eckhart? Aaron Johnson, I think.
Aaron Johnson?
I don't know. I got to take a look
I used
at
to
it.
call that
I know
movie-
which one you're talking about. The Godzilla.
Yeah, I used to call that movie The Hurt Locker 2 because it starred on Navy EOD tech. I thought that was really cool.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah. No.
The guy from Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Navy EOD tech.
Yeah.
And they even said it in the movie. They're like, "Oh, I know what to do. This is a nuclear device. I'm an EOD tech. I don't care if you're an EOD tech."
I think it's I believe it's Aaron Taylor Johnson.
It is. Yeah, that
I
is
believe.
Kick-Ass.
Let me see here. Aaron Taylor Johnson. Yes, that's who it was.
And again, the funny thing about that movie was he was an officer, and guess what officers do? They sit behind a desk. They don't fucking do team leader shit. And he's like, "I'm an EOD officer." Oh my God. You know, it's funny. So like what I find interesting about US EOD versus say like Britain, right? British EOD. So the British EOD, their officers are team leaders. You know, which is really fascinating. So their officers, only officers can be team leaders within the British EOD. I know, it's pretty wild. You know, and then the British, you know, you have to give them credit. They really were the ones that started the whole EOD thing because it was the Battle of Britain.
Yeah.
Right? So all those bombs that were getting dropped.
A lot of UXOs.
A lot of UXOs. And so there's actually a really good TV series, and I think you can find it on YouTube. Shit, I cannot remember the name of it. Maybe you can put it underneath when I find it for you. But you can watch that series on there, but it's really good, and it's about a British EOD unit, and they're going out there, and they're taking care of all of these UXOs. And a lot of the UXOs, some of them use like chemical fuses and stuff like that, all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because every time they get a new bomb, they'd have to figure out how to defuse it,
Right.
or how to disarm it, you know, because they had no fucking clue.
Yeah.
So I mean, these were the
Is it called
wild men.
Bluestone 42?
I believe is that that's not the modern one, right? It has to take place during World War II.
Bluestone 42, a British sitcom about a British bomb disposal detachment in Afghanistan during Operation
Yes,
Carrot.
that's the
First
comedy.
broadcast on
That's
March
actually
5th,
really funny.
2013.
You want to watch you watch that movie or watch that TV series to see what EOD is really like.
So that is more realistic and better compared to this movie.
That's actually really funny. I've actually
The
seen
other
that
one was Danger UXB?
Yes. Danger
Okay.
UXB.
Okay.
Unexploded
Something
bomb.
called,
Danger UXB.
Trigger Point?
No. So Danger UXB is a great TV series about the World War II EOD guys in Britain. And then what was the other one you said? The one in Afghanistan?
Bluestone 42.
Bluestone 42. If you get a chance to watch that TV series, if you can get on YouTube or whatever, it is fucking hilarious.
Okay.
And the way they react and the way they act with each other is about as realistic as it gets with EOD guys.
Interesting. Okay.
All right, so Bluestone 42 and Danger UXB. Danger UXB is a good show, though.
All right. So your favorite scene is the credits, of course.
Sure.
Stu, what is your favorite scene in the movie?
After they succeeded, they came back and drank and were fucking around, and just being Just blown off steam.
That's fucking mine too. God damn
Just
it.
fucking blown off steam. That's
yeah. When they were punching each other in the stomach and everything, and they were just drinking.
I don't know. Is that the same scene where he fucking puts the bomb suit helmet on his head and fucking lies in bed?
No. That's when he's
God,
he does
that pissed
that.
me off. I'm like, why the fuck would I put that on my head? You know, I hate wearing that fucking thing.
He did that when he took Anthony Mackie to he dropped him off because he was was it Anthony Mackie that was drunk or was it Jeremy Renner? No, it was Mackie. Yeah, because Mackie got so drunk because he was getting pissed off and everything. They took him and then he went to his barracks, I guess, laid in bed and put the helmet on his head.
Yeah.
Jeremy Renner's character. That's when that happened, but that was my favorite scene also.
Yeah, I mean, that just felt...
It felt real.
Yeah.
It felt real between friends because I could see us doing that.
And then also
fucking with each other.
him bullshitting with Beckham and just talking shit. And then when he breaks for a second,
What does it say? I'll fucking slice your head off or cut your head off with a dull knife. I was like, holy shit.
No, I'm just fucking with him. Like, yeah, that is.
I mean, that's how we talk to each other. I don't know if we would talk to them like that.
There are definitely some days where you're talking to Haji that fucking way.
Yeah.
All right.
Adam, what is yours?
I was going to say the same thing.
They got some of the blowback.
Yeah.
When shit went bad outside, they got some blowback.
Adam,
Yeah,
what is your...
I think they gave too much trust to the Iraqi police. That I didn't like that. I was like, you do not trust those motherfuckers. If that guy was telling me this is what he's saying, he's a good guy. He's a good guy.
No, fuck you. You're with him.
I fucking don't believe you.
Right.
Adam, what is yours?
No, I was gonna say the same thing about when they're blowing off steam. I can just picture, like Stu was saying, I can just picture Stu like sitting on your chest and beating the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
Me? Seriously? I mean, we've done that before. I mean, remember we did that at your fucking old house, and you bashed my head to the fucking
your fucking
cement.
birthday.
Oh, my birthday?
I think it was your birthday.
No, you shrink wrapped my fucking truck. I woke up in the fucking morning with my truck completely fully.
That's right. We were out drinking. I
had the video.
Fuck out. I'm like, all right, cool.
All right,
You know what? I'll even post
you want to
video will be
you really
underneath.
want to fuck with them? This is what we did to one of our guys at the EOD shop. All right, if you go on Amazon, all right, you can buy I think a couple 100,000 ladybugs, and just throw it in his car.
You know, you can get
That's a good
live
one, too.
camel spiders shipped over here for
You can.
really cheap.
Hey,
really cheap.
We've done the camel spider scorpion
Yes.
thing. We've done that.
Yes.
But you can get like a couple 100,000 ladybugs, and you can.
That was portrayed at the Scorpion fight in Jarhead, with
yes.
Jake Gyllenhaal. What'd you think of that movie?
The two I actually really like that.
Jarhead
movie.
wasn't too bad of a movie.
I enjoy Jarhead. Jarhead's good. It's funny. I like it how nobody fucking got to shoot a gun. That's realistic.
Yeah.
With Desert Storm. I enjoy Jarhead. Like I said, I love Black Hawk. That'll always be my favorite with Black Hawk Down. I've watched that movie so many times.
And you said 13 Hours in Benghazi.
I love 13 Hours in Benghazi just because, it pisses you off when you feel like the government doesn't have your fucking back.
How about Three Kings?
And I've seen that before. Three Kings is all right.
Yeah.
The guy, what was it? The Men Who Stare at Goats?
Yeah.
That's a funny one.
Yeah.
That's kind of scary if it is real. It's like, oh, really? Did we really have that shit? Like, that's some fucking crazy shit.
Yeah.
There is stuff that you can easily trace back to real.
Oh yeah, no
real shit. We sunk money
it.
into.
You know what? I can believe it because interesting story. So I was stationed at Aberdeen Proving Grounds. I was a tech escort unit for a little bit, and so I was at Edgewood Arsenal, and that's where I found out about the whole LSD thing when the Army was fucking like experimenting with LSD on our soldiers in the 70s. And there's actually a really good on YouTube. There's a good video. It's called "Bad Trip to Edgewood."
Yeah.
All right, watch it. It'll blow your fucking mind. They gave so much LSD to these soldiers. They'd be like, hey, we want you to volunteer for the experiment. We're going to give you like a 3-day pass, and they'd be like, yeah, sure. And they would fucking like pump them up with so much LSD and then they would test them and see what it would do to them.
This or my Lord?
All right. What's that?
This or my Lord?
Oh, right now I'm loving my Lord. Anyways, so they would test these soldiers with LSD and fucking... And we're talking about 5, 6, 7, 8 times the amount that a normal person would take in the 60s. Like just fucking a crazy amount.
Okay? They had to see
then they would turn around and be like, hey, these guys weren't like mentally affected at all. No, it didn't fuck them up at all. They did like a whole 60 minutes thing on it. It was insane.
Yeah.
That these soldiers that they were testing this LSD on, and this was happening at Edgewood Arsenal. One of the cool things I discovered too was like the freighters that they sunk in the Chesapeake Bay at the time.
Mm-hmm.
That were filled with chemical weapons and they encased in concrete. So they sunk a couple of ships out there. I think they sunk a freighter that had chemical weapons encased in concrete. And the funny thing about concrete is that if you have it underwater for a long period of time, it's going to fucking break down.
Yeah.
So now you have all these chemical weapons kind of like leaching into. So there are areas of the Chesapeake, do not eat the crabs. I'm just letting people know right now.
Thank you for telling us that.
But when I was over there at Edgewood and Aberdeen, there were chemical weapons that we would find that would fucking wash up on shore. And all the time, I swear to God, and we'd have to come out there and like fucking pick them up and X-ray them, and oh look, it's a chemical weapon. You know,
we got chemical weapons that we purposely disposed of shittily. We got nuclear fucking weapons that we've lost.
Yeah.
All right.
Look up the Spring Valley mission. You know, like in DC, where a lot of the World War I chemical weapons were created and produced, were right there at, I think it's American University, over there in Spring Valley in Washington, D.C. And we have missions out there where I was going out there for months at a time, where they would literally build a giant tent over a house and tear the entire house down and remove all the soil underneath it, because it was just full. And we'd find chemical weapons. We'd find
basically hazardous materials, basically.
Yes, because like you have like, and we're talking about like people that were here, like at the embassies were living in this is a rich neighborhood.
Yeah.
So then the government would say, this is a super fun site. The government would pay these people, you know, they would pay their kids to go to the best private schools and do all this stuff just so we could take your house and tear it down and rebuild it.
And get rid of it.
But we're going to pay for everything.
Yes.
It was wild because there were so many chemical weapons there. I mean, the shit that, like, okay, so the Washington, Virginia, tri-state area, Maryland, Washington,
DMV
Virginia,
area.
that whole fucking area, right? There is so much ordnance and chemical weapons in that area. It's fucking insane.
All of them down the East Coast.
Yeah.
All of them down the East Coast.
That's crazy.
There was this one area.
Cheers to Josh being a guest here.
Yep.
Thank you
There was
for
this
being
one.
here.
I remember this one incident I did. I had a couple of good incidents, but this one. They found a bunch of shotguns in the middle of Route 1. It was buried. Found all these shotguns. And they were actually shotgun. They weren't registered. And it was kind of weird. We couldn't like report it, but we had to get rid of it. But these were shotguns. They were one-use shotguns that were dropped into France during World War II for the insurgents, I guess. I don't know what you would call them. The counter-resistance.
Yeah.
The resistance. Thank you. So you had these shotguns, these one-time-use shotguns, and there was just a fucking crate of them just dropped in the middle of Route 1. You have Route 1 going one way and the other, like in the middle. And they found it, and they're like, well, we can't write a record of us destroying these because these don't exist. But this is from World War II. Yeah, this is the dumbest fucking thing ever. I swear to God.
Because if you acknowledge that they existed, then you're acknowledging you broke some rules that you weren't supposed to be breaking at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of shit. A lot of stuff Uncle Sam did that we didn't do.
But it's World War II. It's like, come on, guys. It's like almost 100 years ago.
But we broke certain rules that we weren't supposed to.
I've done some crazy shit. Like I did this one. It was I'll send you the picture for the thing. But I had this naval mine wash on shore in Maryland from 1918. And we had no publications on this thing because the United States bought this stupid thing from the British.
Yeah.
And so this fucking retired Navy chief gets like a rope and pulley and throws it on the back of his truck and says, "Oh, it's a buoy," and drives it into his neighborhood.
God.
And then he sees there's a placard on it, 250-pound fucking Mark whatever bomb or naval mine.
Yeah.
And then he calls us. So then I had to fucking commandeer his truck and like drive to like had like this fucking like police escort and everything. I had to drive to a state park and blow it up. And they're like, we have to let the people know we're blowing it up at 5 a.m. So they put out like this thing on TV, warning we're blowing. Everybody's asleep. So we blow it up. You scare the shit out of everybody.
I'm assuming the locals had felt like
World War III story.
What it does around here during the mortar launches for Quantico.
It was a big boom.
Okay.
The biggest problem with it was, and this is my own stupid fault, was we got like the state to bring out like a backhoe because I had to bury it because there was a house on that state park.
Yeah.
And it had somebody who was like terminally ill, so they couldn't move him out of there. So I was like, fuck, now I have to build like, fucking barricades or whatever to like protect the area. We call it protective. God, I don't even remember anymore. Anyway, so basically we had them dig into the ground, but my brain wasn't thinking that. That's below sea level, so we're digging. All right, we're good. We put this mine in there, and then water starts pouring in. I was like, fuck! Quick! We put the explosives on it.
Yep.
And then we throw a bunch of dirt on there, and we just fucking pop and blow it, and then we blow it up and like scare the fuck out of everybody. It was so. That was crazy. That was like New Year's. I think it was New Year's Eve that happened. And
that is fucking crazy.
I went back to the shop. I remember because it was like fucking 5 a.m. this happened. I come back to the shop and I just sleep for a little bit, and they call me. He's like, "Hey, we just found a 500-pound bomb in a police parking lot." I'm like, "What?" Like that same fucking day. I couldn't believe it. I was like, "There's so much." What I'm saying is, the point I'm trying to make is, there's so much crap in this area. It's insane. It's wild.
Not on the West Coast though.
Nah, East Coast, man. Look, everything was developed here especially during World War I and World War II.
Yeah.
On this side of the
Okay.
I mean, there's stuff on the West Coast.
Yeah, I
but
figure it's because of
this area, Maryland, Washington D.C., Virginia, all of this. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Was there anything else you want to talk about the movie, or do you pretty much feel like you got most of it?
I mean, I think I got the gist of it.
Yeah.
It's go see Black Hawk Down.
Which, by the way,
was a great episode.
Yeah, episode 77, one of our audio episodes before we went on the YouTube, is a great. This one of our best, our War is Hell series. We
How
did.
the fuck did you have that number off the top of your head?
I looked it up. I looked it up. Trust me, I looked it up like over 20 minutes ago. We were talking about it.
Fuck,
yeah,
man.
it's episode 77 because we did a War is Hell series, which we did Fury, we did Black Hawk Down, we did Memphis Belle, and we did The Patriot, which was kind of more of a funny episode.
Oh man, I
And-
love Memphis Belle. That's a good movie.
Yeah, well, the guys didn't care for it as much as the other ones, but
I enjoyed it.
yeah,
I don't think I shit
love
on it.
Me and my brother grew up on it. I mean, but I remember our dad always telling all the inaccuracies of Memphis Belle when we were watching them.
How would he fucking know? He wasn't in World War II.
Tell dad. I mean, I'm
gonna give him some shit. Hey, what about? Have you done The Final Countdown? That's a good movie.
Oh, the one when with Kirk Douglas. No,
Yeah, where they go back in time.
that's a good movie.
Yeah, you should do The Final Countdown. I
Why don't
love
you be a
that
part
movie.
of it?
I only love that movie because I'm a huge fan of the F-14 Tomcat.
Yeah.
Because you know that whole flight simulator thing I built? Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Hey, you know what? You could
Do
always
The
stream
Final
down from
Countdown.
Florida. You can
Yep.
always stream down and be on that episode. That'd
Absolutely.
be another good fun. And that's more into this sci-fi realm when it comes.
It
Because
is.
of going back
It
in
is.
time,
It's definitely
basically.
more
Going back in
science
time.
fiction,
Yeah.
but it's a cool concept. You
Yeah.
know, you have a modern Navy from the 70s fighting the, the Japanese during Pearl Harbor. That's kind of a cool concept. I mean, the technology advancements from World War II up until that point were fucking insane.
Yeah, yeah.
It was crazy.
The other,
the very first CPU ever developed was for the F-14 Tomcat.
I remember you saying that we were talking about Top Gun at one point.
Yeah, well, the F-14 Tomcat had the very first CPU. There's a whole video on it you can watch about it, but that's when they developed the first CPU was for the F-14 Tomcat, and I believe it was for the swing wing system on it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, really cool.
I just wanted to give another credit to the other episode in the War is Hell series, Midway, that Ragnar did, because he's actually from the naval background, and he did Midway for his, and that was a good movie.
My kids and I, we actually watched that 2 days ago.
What'd you think of it?
In the morning. I've seen it before.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all CG.
Yeah, it is.
And the acting's a little
rough.
Yeah.
The acting's a little rough.
The
It's
freaking
very
actor, I forgot his name.
Stiff.
The one
It's
in
just-
Deadpool.
It's just very yeah, that's how I can describe it. They're just kind of going through the motions.
Yeah.
All the way to the end. But I mean, and the CG's a little shitty, but
I think we can all agree that Black Hawk Down, out of all those movies,
Yes.
is probably the most realistic portrayal
It
of
is.
especially
Black
modern
Hawk
warfare.
Down is a great movie.
Yeah.
There's some things that they didn't show in that movie that they couldn't show, like Mike Durant. I wish I was on that podcast, but they actually beat him with the limbs of those snipers that they had killed. Yeah, like it was bad.
That's
You know?
crazy.
That
is crazy.
Fucked up shit.
Well,
but anyways, yeah.
I guess we're near the end of the show. Dude, this was fucking great. I'm looking forward to hearing the pie reviews from you on this movie too, because I know they're going to be interesting. But I think we actually delved a lot into this movie, a lot of the inaccuracies, the portrayal of the soldiers, especially after where they're all just shooting the shit with each other and everything else. And
I think the big one is definitely the whole war is hell drug thing. I think
Yeah.
that was the biggest inaccuracy, in my opinion. you
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
Feel free to comment.
All right, so I guess we'll go ahead and go to the pilot reviews. So I'm going to go ahead, since he's our guest, Josh, you can go ahead and go first. We go 5 for critical, 5 for enjoyment, and either way is first. And just
5 for critical and 5 for enjoyment. Okay, so are you talking about critical as far as technical
0 to
aspects?
5.
Critical is more technical side, more direction,
as far as acting,
accuracy,
writing, lighting, special effects.
Enjoyment's more of like
the whole thing of the film. It can be a critically great film that you do not enjoy.
Yeah.
Or a film that you absolutely love, but it's critically a dog shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so well, it's critically dog shit. It's like a 1 to me for criticality, right?
There you go. Okay.
All right. And for enjoyment, I mean, it really did. I met my wife and saw 3. I'll give it a 3.
3 is good. Anything 3 and above is actually good. So that's.
I'll give it a 3.
Would you watch it again? Because you watched it for the podcast. Would you watch it again?
Just watched it. I will watch it again eventually.
Probably
maybe
like 10 years down the
Maybe
road.
show my grandkids.
Yeah. Okay.
This is what Grandpa used to do. I'm such a badass.
He's a wild man.
He's a wild man.
Hot shit.
It's hot shit.
All
You're
right.
a wild man.
So a 5.
Grandpa,
I mean,
you
a
smell like
3
hot
for
shit.
a 3 for an enjoyment, and a 1 for critical. You're going for 1 for a critical.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, come on, man. They did. They were so. Look.
Would you give any? Would you give any?
If you walk down the street right now and ask anybody, "Hey, have you ever heard of the Hurt Locker? What the fuck is that?" Nobody's ever heard of it. Have you heard of Avatar? Oh my God, everybody's heard of Avatar.
Oh, yeah, that's commercially more.
Look,
not everybody's
Avatar
in a war film.
should have won.
I agree.
Best Picture.
Yeah.
All right. Black Hawk Down. Did it get any Academy Awards?
Black Hawk Down was nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, which I was very shocked that Ridley Scott didn't, because Ridley Scott directed it. He did not.
He should have
win.
gotten Best Picture. That is a movie. I've watched that movie so many times.
Beautiful score,
the
beautiful.
extended scene. Oh, the extended version. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I watched that movie at least once a
I mean,
year.
that was Stu's pick. I mean, he and great episode. Did such a great job and a lot of dedication to the soldiers.
Amazing
too.
film.
Yeah,
amazing film.
I agree with you 100%. That's one of the best war films when it comes to modern warfare. Because
Look,
when it comes to like World War II,
I will have an emotional reaction to Black Hawk Down. I do not have an emotional reaction to Hurt Locker. Period.
Okay. Well,
All right, that's the best thing I can say about it.
that explains it right there. All right, Adam.
Is it laughter an emotional reaction?
That's true. That's true. But that's only if you're with 30 other EOD guys.
Right.
It's different. If you're by yourself watching it, there's no laughter. You're just, why am I watching this movie? Right. Maybe, you know what? I'll take the entertainment value down to 2. I mean, it did a lot of good for me because I did meet my wife. And so 2.
So a 2 for enjoyment and a 1 for critical.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. All right. Adam, how about you, buddy?
After discussing it and things like that on the
This
show,
gonna change. Did this change?
My critical's going to have to go down too. I'm going to probably put my critical at a 2. I just didn't realize how much. I don't have any military background. I don't.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize how much of it was just bullshit.
Yeah.
So so I'm gonna put critical as a 2. Enjoyment. I kind of like Anthony Mackie and Jimmy Renner and how they did what they portrayed what they actually portrayed.
Yeah.
I think they did okay. So I'm gonna give it a 3 for enjoyment.
See, 3 is still good.
Yeah, I would watch it again.
Yeah.
You'd watch it again?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's fair. I wouldn't. I mean, honestly, but give it another 10 years, I'll watch it again.
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead. Stu will go last. I'll go next. Like I said, I've seen this movie twice. The first time I saw it, I haven't seen it since then. Usually, if I haven't seen it, I wasn't really interested that much into it. I thought it was fine when it came out, but it wasn't my thing. I watched it a second time. I was like, it's a good movie. It's good, but I don't understand why I won Best Picture. Is it entertaining? I've seen better war movies. I still think Catherine Bigelow, her direction was good, but I really enjoyed Zero Dark 30 a whole lot more. I thought that was the whole, even though there's a lot of bullshit in that movie too. I know there's a lot of inaccuracies. I've seen a lot of.
I haven't seen that movie yet.
That's
I know what it is.
Taking of
Osama bin Laden. I've not
Laden.
seen that movie.
Good movie.
I've seen 13 Hours, which I love.
Yeah.
I've not seen Zero Dark 30.
It's worth it. The finale when they're attacking
really well done.
Yeah, the compound and Jessica Chastain, who actually the character is fictional.
Did they show the 160th in that one? Because they were involved in that.
I have no idea. I wouldn't know
that was the helicopter that lost. That was the.
Did it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. But Jessica Chastain actually is a fictional character, but she represents a group of people. That's what I've read in documentaries and stuff like that. A group of people, and made it into one
an
person.
amalgamation of a few different.
But I thought the movie's pacing, the acting, all the way to the end, great movie. I take it. I give it so much more high recognition compared to Hurt Locker. The Hurt Locker was fine. For enjoyment, I'll give it maybe a 2.5. It's not something I'd watch
talk about
again.
this damn movie, that I just keep wanting to bring it down. It's what's really interesting about the EOD community. I want to point this out, especially for any listeners here that are EOD. So within the Army, it doesn't matter what year, whether you're a logistician or whatever, right? Say like you're a vehicle mechanic or something, When a commander or a first sergeant is talking about the unit, they're usually like, "Oh, we're the best fucking unit in the Army.
Yeah,
we're the best." EOD guys, we know we're the best, but I swear to God, every first sergeant, every commander I've ever had, what, you guys think you're fucking special? What, you guys think you're good? That was my entire fucking career. Like, that's what we were exposed to. And I always found that fascinating, within the community. Even when I was in the 160th, man, we were fucking prima donnas. We're like, we're the fucking best. And we knew we were the best. I read, but I swear, EOD guys, we were we're the most self-deprecating people on the fucking planet. I swear to God.
One of the things I read and I didn't realize was that I guess during when this movie was supposedly taking place, that they actually said that there was only 100. It was under 150 active EOD techs. That was it.
Oh wow!
So if you figure out the entire Army, and there's only 150. That is a specialized.
We are a small. Very
that
small
is
community.
a specialized unit.
Well, hats off to you, man.
When I went to EOD school, their attrition rate was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Out of my class of 30, 9 of us graduated. I was the lowest ranking. I was an E5 when I went through school, and I was the lowest ranking NCO. We had like so many NCOs above me, including Marines.
Yeah.
And every single one of them failed out, and I was the NCOIC, so the NCO in charge of the class by the time I graduated.
Well, good job.
Every single guy.
Good job.
Yeah, it's such a high attrition rate when I went through. Because so like one of our grading scale, and we're gonna finish this is.
Oh, you're fine.
86 and above is passing. Anything below an 86 is a fail.
Yeah.
For everything.
Jesus.
Which makes sense, It was we have a motto. It's fuck, I can't remember because they got rid of it. They got rid of our fucking motto because they said it was too sensitive or some bullshit like that.
Pass or die.
Yeah.
Basically,
it was
fucking options there.
It was initial success or total failure. That's our motto.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That is our motto. And they in the last couple of years I was in the Army, they got rid of that motto because they said that it was too insensitive.
Jesus.
To the guys that were getting killed. And
That's
I was
crazy.
like, that's fucking bullshit, man. We're proud of that motto.
Yeah.
So anyways,
I mean,
go ahead.
you're fine.
really, failure is not an option. I mean,
No.
it's not.
Total failure is you're fucked. You're dead.
Exactly.
So that was the great thing about the job. But anyways, go ahead.
Oh,
Go
you're
ahead.
fine.
I'm sorry, man.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Ron.
Did you say it?
No, I did not.
Oh, you got lucky.
No, he almost did, but he didn't.
I did not. I said Ron.
I would have missed it though. No, 2.5 for enjoyment. Like I said, it's fine war film, but I've seen so many better ones.
Absolutely.
And critically, like I said, I have no military background, so hearing all the inaccuracies in this movie from your experience, because you were actually experienced in this field, this was very eye-opening for me. And because when I'm watching this, it's like, oh wow, so that's what happened. That's what happened. But now you're telling me, it's like, okay, so now it kind of changes my view on things.
Yep.
So for my critical, I'd probably give it I'll get a 2.5 critical. 2.5 critical, 2.5 enjoyment. Catherine Bigelow did a good job in her direction. She's a director. It's a movie. It's Hollywood. It's entertainment. It's not meant to, I understand they're doing it for an ode to the soldiers and for EOD and stuff like that, but it's entertainment. She did a good job on the direction, the camera angles and stuff like that, but the inaccuracies probably bring it down way low. That's why I will not give it. I'll give it 2.5 because her directions was still decent. I thought she did a good job in the direction. There was no score to this movie, really. I thought Anthony Mackie and Jeremy Renner was good acting. It was cool to see Jeremy Renner in his early acting, just like Anthony Mackie, because I actually really enjoy Anthony Mackie. I enjoyed him as the Phoenix in the Marvel movies. Other movies he's done. He's actually a very good actor, and Jeremy Renner has proved himself. Fuck, he fucking got run over by a snowblower or whatever, or snow plow.
Snowplow.
Yeah, and he
ran himself over.
He ran himself
He
over?
ran himself
No,
What the fuck did he run?
I thought he got out of it and it rolled on him. That's what I heard.
So he was the one who was driving it,
was his
and then
plow.
parked it,
Yeah.
and then got out,
Yeah.
and it ran it over. So he was the last one driving it, so
I think
he ran himself
I think
over.
Anthony Mackie would do better in a
And you keep calling him Phoenix. He's Falcon.
yeah.
What
So
did I say?
Falcon.
I don't know.
Falcon.
Phoenix is,
So-
is fucking X-Men. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I don't know why
anyways,
I'm getting that mixed up.
I think Anthony Mackie
It's a
would do
bird.
better in like a Marine Corps movie.
Yeah.
Because you have to get out of that whole fucking military courtesy mindset.
Yeah.
And he kind of didn't get out of it. He was like very much, hey, specialist, hey,
Yes.
sergeant.
Papa Doc.
That is not
8
right.
Mile.
That was not right. Yes.
Yeah.
So as a Marine, sure, do like a Marine movie. I'd
Yeah.
I'd want to see him in a movie where he's a Marine.
Okay. And you know what? I'm actually going to raise my critical.
And he was in the Air Force in the Marvel movies.
Yeah,
There was.
Yes,
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
right. Because you guys are special.
I will.
Special ed.
You're just fucking jealous. Our kill count much fucking higher. Much fucking higher. We are much more effective at what we do.
I'm pretty sure those bombs we dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, that was the Army Air Corps. Yes, the Army Air Corps.
You don't count
no.
civvies. You don't count
No,
civvies.
no.
We don't count civvies.
All right. It's the Army Air Corps.
And then what did we do at the Army Air Corps? We were like, fuck you. We are our own branch. We're not even going to be a department of you the way the Marines are a department of the
Do
Navy.
you not know how
All
bad
right?
you guys did in Vietnam? Like the Navy aviators versus the Air Force aviators. It was insane.
Yes.
Like your F4s were like shot down like, what was it, like 2-1? It was like crazy.
Yes. And then we learned from that. We're like, okay, we're just going to not be a part of it anymore. We're just going to kill everything from a million miles
Yeah.
away.
Hey,
all right, this is what we're going to do.
Does anybody remember Top Gun? Yeah. What about Iron Eagle? Because that's a hard one.
We did both
That's
episodes.
a hard one.
We did do that
It's
episode.
really F-16s because the Air Force didn't even want to provide their F-16s. I remember that one too.
That's actually in the episode. That was actually Ragnar's episode, which would be funny if Ragnar was here because then we'd have 3 branches: Navy, Air Force, and Army.
So-
but I will say this: I'm going to raise my critical up to
My wife is Air Force though, so hold on. I got to give her a little bit of.
Oh, what did she do?
A little bit of credit. She was
Air Force.
She was Hebrew linguist.
Oh, nice.
I didn't know that.
She was a spy. She spied on the Jews. She's gonna be pissed because I said that.
Oh, she's going to listen to this episode.
I love that.
But I'm going to raise my critical to
We
a.
spy on all of our allies. It's fine.
I'll raise my critical to a 3 because the acting power in this movie was
Oh, my
actually.
God.
I thought the acting was good. I thought, but just from a Hollywood angle, yeah, I know. So a 2.5 for enjoyment and a 3 for critical, but it drops it down 2
I
points.
love Jeremy
inaccuracies.
Rayner.
Yeah,
I think he's a good
I
actor.
thought it was a good.
I do enjoy
You
him
didn't
as
see him
an
that many movies. I don't know what he was in beforehand. I
SWAT.
didn't. Other than SWAT,
I've seen him a couple.
Wasn't
movies.
SWAT after this?
No, I think it was before it.
didn't SWAT have Jamie Foxx?
Look it up. You're the Google guy, Adam.
Yeah, well, no, he's looking it up. What other movies has Jeremy Renner done? Because I'm actually curious. Before Hurt Locker, I know I've seen him in.
I thought he
something
did
else.
SWAT before.
I know he did some.
I could be wrong.
Serial killer movie, I believe too, that he did. Trying to remember, but
I think that was before Hurt Locker.
Hurt Locker was 2009. SWAT was 2003.
Okay.
He
was Dahmer in 2002.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Yeah, he was
that's the
Dahmer.
one I was thinking.
28
Serial
weeks
killer.
later, 2007.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
SWAT was definitely.
That was one of his, and we just did that during Halloween. That's
Yep.
funny. Yeah.
SWAT. Oh my God, that was 2003. God, I'm so fucking old. All right.
National Lampoon Senior Trip in 95.
There you go.
Oh my
Yep.
God. You serious?
Yep.
Wow. Yeah. Well,
Assassination of Jesse James in 2007.
yeah, he was in that with Brad Pitt. Good movie. Long movie, but good movie. 3 hours long, I believe.
Neo Ned, which I'm guessing he played a neo-Nazi in. I haven't seen him.
Was he also in one of the Bourne movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Jason Bourne. Or he was born.
He was the next guy to become
He was
born
the next
after.
guy.
Yeah, but then they brought Matt Damon back?
Then they brought Matt Damon back, and they did a movie together. That's what I
Matt Damon.
He was also in the Mission Impossible movies.
Matt Damon.
Mission Impossible 4 or 5 or something, Ghost Recon or something
2010, he did The Town.
like that. Great fucking movie.
That's great.
Yeah.
Great movie. That's one of Ben Affleck's best directions right there.
I definitely remember him in The Town. Okay.
Yeah, he was really good. What year was The Town?
2010.
Okay, so that was 2 years after that. So his star power was getting higher,
Yes.
especially after the Hurt Locker. I remember when he was on the Oscar stage when they all came up with a group and they were all very happy.
I don't remember him in 28 Weeks Later.
He was. He was
Oh,
the
yeah,
guy
he
that
was-
set on fire when.
Yeah, he was one of the main characters in 28 Weeks Later.
It was actually good because that was my first time watching it.
Yeah, so 28 days later,
He was in
which he
28
wasn't
weeks.
a part of.
He was in the
28
sequel.
weeks
So
later.
he was in Lords of Dogtown, which
Yeah.
he was unaccredited. Okay.
Yeah, he was actually in a lot of movies. Then all the Marvel
He
movies
was.
as Hawkeye. I mean, he came in and.
I definitely remember him in SWAT. Though.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Tag in 2018.
Wait a minute. Didn't Thor? Because he was his first.
Yes, the
entrance-
first one he was in was Thor.
And what year was that? Because this was 2008. Thor came out in 2011.
Oh, it came out later.
Yeah,
Definitely came out.
2011.
2011. It was like 2 years
2008
later.
was a Hurt
Yeah,
Locker.
so his star power and Hurt Locker really got him up to getting a lot more roles.
Yeah.
I think one of his best roles is probably The Town, though. Him,
You know, it's
he was great
weird.
in The
This
Town.
movie came out in 2008 because I saw it in like January.
Not Hansel and Gretel.
Early
That
2009.
movie's
is when I
fucking
saw it.
dog shit. Oh my god. Well, Stu,
Fine, Tag. All right, Tag was where
that's funny.
You know,
that's a funny
Yes,
movie.
that was
Tag.
him.
That's a funny movie. Stu, we'll go ahead and finalize with you. What is your pint reviews for this movie?
All right, so enjoyment. I actually enjoyed this film. Yeah, it may have been inaccurate, but I don't come from an EOD background, so
Yeah.
it wasn't fucking taking me out of anything. A lot of red flags were just the cavalier attitude, the not reporting really to anybody, not really being a part of any real chain of authority. Right there, that did draw me out a little bit. You know, the entire time I'm like, okay, you're gonna be reporting fucking everything.
They really didn't show that. It was
Yeah.
interesting. They just went out and did missions, but they didn't show how the whole report, how it worked.
Yeah.
How, like you would get a 9-line, how like any of that stuff worked. You know, it's like,
Exactly.
hey, we
all
got-
the bullshit that
we got a
goes
mi-
after
yes.
action.
So they kind of ignored all that, which again I did not. It took me out.
Yeah,
It was a Hollywood movie.
and I knew that even not being EOD, I knew okay. No, there's a lot of other bullshit that fucking goes along with everything
get
you
that.
fucking do.
Right.
So
you know
that
what they
took me
didn't
out
show
little
a
bit.
lot in that movie is like how everybody complains about how late we are because we're usually on another fucking mission.
I can see that.
You know,
I
it's
can-
like,
where the fuck you
guys,
been?
Where the fuck are you guys? We're fucking taking care of another IED.
You got fucking 80 of us in this whole
You got
goddamn
VBIT
country.
over here.
This
Yes.
whole fucking
Fuck up,
country
yeah.
is 80 of us. Fuck
Yeah.
you.
I know.
All right.
They complain so much about that
So
shit.
what is your enjoyment?
But my enjoyment, I did enjoy this. I've always enjoyed this from the first time I've seen it until even this most recent one. It's something that I feel did a really good job of painting the environment, of putting you in that time frame.
Sure.
Really well. And like I said, I thought the acting was really well done for what it was. Now,
That's what gave me a high
strongest
for
writing,
critical.
not necessarily.
Yeah. Do you think it's best picture worthy? Because I think that is where
Look,
it really
well,
falls
you know
back.
Fuck,
What was it going against?
fuck the Academy Award. Avatar.
I don't fucking like Avatar. I think Avatar is overrated.
Hold on.
It may be
Special effects
overrated.
amazing.
Hold on.
Special effects were amazing.
Yes.
There was like
You know, I
6,
look
7
at
movies.
Who
So hold on a
enjoys
second.
Avatar? Who's seen Avatar? If I look at others, hey, have you guys seen Avatar? Of course you have. If I walk down the street, have you seen Avatar? Yeah, I have. Have you seen Her Locker? What the fuck
I
is
bet
that?
you there's a lot of fucking best pictures on there that are better
I
films
know. That's what I'm
than
looking
what
for.
the popular films
Hold
were.
on.
Maybe.
All
All
right.
right.
I'm gonna 2010 Best Picture nominees. All right.
I enjoyed Avatar.
Here we go.
IMAX. I thought it was pretty cool.
Because of special effects.
Yeah. Let's see. For the 2010 Best Picture nominees.
I mean, it was Dances of Wolves in Space, but you know, I like Dances with Wolves. So.
All right. So for Best Picture, we have winner view by category. Supporting.
2010 or 2009?
It's 2010 because 2009 is when it came out.
I thought it came out in 08.
It did, but for some reason it was a limited release, so it was released
Okay.
the year after that for a full release.
Okay.
All right.
So Best Picture. Why am I? Okay, here we go. We got Avatar, District 9.
Which was really good.
Yeah,
I
we
love
have
District 9.
That was
That's
really
such a good movie.
Inglourious Bastards.
That was good.
And Education. I've never heard of that one. Precious, based on a novel by Sapphire. A Serious Man, Coen Brothers movie. It's actually not bad. It's okay. Not Best Picture worthy, but it was fine.
So-
Up, and then Up in the Air with George Clooney.
I would go District 9
I
of that
have
list.
I have a
I'd
funny
go with
story.
Inglourious Bastards.
District 9 is a very special movie to me, and it's very important to me because I was doing a mission in New York City with the Secret Service at the time, and I got really drunk, and I got really in trouble.
They got fingered by aliens.
I actually got busted down a rank. It was pretty bad.
Okay,
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
The Secret Service, they found me in the fetal position in front of my hotel room. That was pretty bad. And
Jesus
and
Christ!
so I remember I was flying back to Germany, knowing that my fucking career's over with. I was so upset, and I was watching District 9, and my God, that movie blew my mind. It was a beautiful movie. And so I get back, I lose rank, whatever. I actually get my rank back, which is wonderful. But this Air Force cat the following year did the same thing. But everybody remembers what he did and not what I did.
That's good.
And I always fucking love it. Thank you, Air Force.
You're welcome.
Everybody's like, hey, remember that guy that fucked up on that Secret Service mission back at Unga in New York City?
They expect
Yeah,
it from
that
the
fucking
Army.
Air Force dude.
They
Yeah.
expect it from the Army. The Air Force
They
is shocked by it
completely
because they know how
forgot about the
goddamn
Army
professional
guy
we
that
are.
did that.
All right. The Army's like, oh, they're a bunch of fucking fuckheads.
Understand. You know what my favorite thing about that was? I actually made this little meme about it, but like what's that meme where the guy's like looking away and he's like, yeah, you know, that meme? And it was like, I got a field grade Article 15 restricted. And that same year, I still got a good conduct medal because they forgot. They forgot I got that field grade Article 15. I never once missed a good conduct medal.
Oh, that is awesome.
That
is fucking awesome.
Epic. Hey, you know what?
But that's the fucking Army for you.
Yep.
We can strip you of a rank, but you know what? You still fucking behave well for Army.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So what's your Pine reviews?
Enjoyment. I'm gonna give that like a 3.5.
Okay.
All right. I like that. I enjoyed it. It told a compelling story that had its fucking problems, yes, but it was compelling. And honestly, I really couldn't turn away from any of the movie. It isn't something that I'm just like flipping the channels or I'm like, oh, okay, God, I'm fucking bored here. No, it was something I'm like, okay, yeah, all right. Critically, like I said, I think really well done on the acting. I think the special effects, there wasn't anything that drew me out really.
For a low budget, it was not bad.
Yeah. It definitely felt authentic.
Yeah.
It took you back to that setting, to that theater.
Okay.
And the inaccuracies didn't draw me out as much because it wasn't my field, and I will absolutely say that. If you try to do something where you got fucking EOs up there and trying to stop the bird from being painted and shit like that, and it's going to draw me out. Obviously,
there were a lot of. You're right. There were so many aspects we could go into that was missing from the movie. I get that. You know what? I will say this: there were some things in there. I remember when that specialist was like, "Fuck you," like, "Fuck, hey man, I'll see you again later."
Yeah, that was real to me as fuck.
When he got shot in the leg.
Yes,
at the
that
end.
specialist right there. He did an amazing fucking job.
But you know what? Within the community, we would talk to each other like that.
Yeah,
100%.
But it would not be like, "Hey, specialist, you better check." No. That always pissed me off about fucking Mackie when he said that shit to him. I was like, well, you don't talk to your guy like that.
Like I can understand Renner and his grouping with Mackie and the specialist, just because he just came in the last month of rotation.
I get that,
I
but
understood that
specialist
separation.
and a sergeant within the EOD, as an EOD team member, you were just a fucking team member, both of you.
Yes.
Right.
All right. There's no, hey, specialist, check. No, we would not talk to each other that way. You guys are same par until you're a team leader.
The only thing I was,
that's how it was.
Maybe it was because Mackie talked about what he was doing before coming there, and so it may have been one of his first.
If I had a team and I had an amazing specialist and a stupid fucking E5 sergeant, guess what? I'm gonna fucking put all my hopes on that specialist.
Yes.
I mean that's straight up. That's how it was.
Yeah.
That's how it is within the EOD community.
Okay.
Your rank means nothing.
No. And honestly, most of the time, once you get boots on ground, your rank doesn't mean but so fucking far. It what you can fucking do. That's what fucking speaks. That speaks to everything for you.
Absolutely.
So what's your critical?
So my critical, I'm going to give it also a 3.5.
Okay. So 3.5.
Like I said, I do think it was really well acted, really well shot, powerful imagery. Whether you agree or disagree with a story that's being told, it told a fucking story, and
but not best picture worthy.
I think what you listed right there, District 9 should have won that.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah, District 9. That was fucking.
I figured
that
Glorious
blew my-
Bastards would be the one.
And Glorious Bastards, super fun, super awesome, and shit like that. But
District 9 saved my life.
but I really do think District 9 all the way around was a better film.
Okay.
As far as from the critical aspect, and there's like Inglourious, as great as it is, and I think critically, Hateful Eight was a better film than Inglourious from a critical
Love that
standpoint.
movie. Yeah. Love that movie.
But as far as Tarantino's films,
I promise when we sail through the Panama Canal, all right, that's what we're doing
I
right
told
now.
him he's never
that's
seen
right.
it.
You're going to fucking do that. That's awesome.
We are going to sail through the Panama Canal in the next couple of weeks with my boat, and we are going to watch Hateful Eight.
Yeah, 'cause they've
I
never
have
seen
not
it.
seen it yet.
It's gonna be so weird
and
because
I love.
it's not gonna be like cold. And you're just gonna be
what
like
is it?
watching that shit.
What is it? Walton Goggins.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
He's the best part of the movie.
Oh,
best part of the movie.
Wonderful.
My wife and I, we sailed from Hawaii to Mazatlan, and we were out at sea for 28 days, and we watched so many fucking movies. I cannot wait to watch Hateful Eight.
I am
Excited
very
about
surprised you haven't seen it, especially as a fan of him.
I haven't, and
Yeah.
I've seen all his movies. I just because that was a Netflix release. That wasn't a theatrical.
Well, the
release.
Netflix version's
But that's-
actually the extended
that's why
cut.
I haven't seen it.
No,
Yeah.
you're gonna. I really think you're gonna enjoy it, especially
And I will.
if you're a Tarantino style film.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a fan of that, then you're gonna enjoy it.
Well, I also told him if you saw
My-
the thing, you'll like. If you like the thing,
I didn't like the thing. The original thing just didn't get.
Really?
No, really didn't. I
oh
don't
man,
know
that's
why.
a masterpiece in sci-fi.
I know it's a masterpiece in sci-fi, but it didn't do it for me.
Really? Okay. Just like he hates The Sopranos too.
I hate. The
Now, also
Sopranos.
keep in mind though.
Hey,
Hateful
listen
Eight
up,
is
everybody.
a bottle film.
If you think
What?
The Sopranos are great, you know what? Go watch The Shield. Way better.
Yes.
The Shield is amazing.
Way
Yes,
better.
Shield
is
is a
amazing.
whole
I
lot
watched
better
The
than
Sopranos, and then I watched The Shield, and I hated The Sopranos.
You know what's even better than The Shield? The Commish.
The Commish?
Commish.
Really? God, I don't know, man. The
Commish
way,
was fun.
The way they
Commish was
ended
fun.
The Shield,
Jack.
though, the way they ended The Shield,
Yes.
man, I still think about it to this day.
Yeah.
But
I fucking love it.
The Commish was fun. It was fun.
All right.
That was when he was
All right.
fat still.
This was so much fun. So you got your rating. We got our ratings here. This was Josh. Seriously, this was an amazing episode to have you a part of. I appreciate you being a part of this. And
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you. And I think we should definitely do the final countdown sometime down in the future. Maybe streaming. You can stream from Florida, and we can do that.
Absolutely.
I think that would be that'd be actually a fun one to do because it's an older movie from the '80s. Kirk Douglas and
Look, I'm a retired EOD guy. I was an aviation guy, but man, I wanted to be a fighter pilot. So I will talk all day about F-14s, fucking Navy jets. It's the fucking weirdest thing. And I sail boats. It's
Yes.
the weirdest fucking thing.
Awesome. So that is the end of our episode for the Hurt Locker. Stay tuned for next week as we are going to be releasing The Big Lebowski. That's something I'm
Oh
hosting.
God, I love that movie.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun episode.
That's my top 5.
That's
All right.
that's one of my favorite comedies of all time.
How
But
the fuck has it taken us this many seasons to get to that?
Yeah, seriously.
I know.
It's like one of the best
I
movies.
know. I know. Just like Scrooge. I'm doing Scrooge or it just was released. But,
I'm done, Scrooge.
Yeah, I'm done Scrooge.
Big
Doing it this weekend.
is like
We've been talking about it, and we already knew what the drink is because it's the White Russian.
Obviously.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it's finally getting done, and we're doing it on my birthday weekend, so it's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to doing that. And Mike from Take on the World's gonna be a guest on that one. He's actually gonna be here, coming down from Pennsylvania to be here with us. But seriously,
Hey, look.
Fuck, is this better
This
than
is
that?
really good. I like Angel's Envy, but this is
Probably
pretty
like,
fucking
this
good.
guy's a fucking maniac. Yes.
Wild man.
Y'all have to set a bottle
There
of
you
work
go.
home with them.
So seriously, ring-a-ling.
That ding.
There you go. And also make sure to comment and seriously comment on Josh and everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. This was a
Hope so.
fun
That was
episode.
good. It was good. You've been
It's
talking
really
about this for a long time.
Yeah, the fact that we finally did another. I like when we go into the military, into the war movies. I think they get very entertaining. The fact that we had somebody who had the experience of being there, also the exact job for what this movie is based off of. So I think that's really cool. So I hope you guys enjoy us for our next episode, and we're gonna go ahead and sign out. Later, guys.
Fuck off.
Later.